welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, and we are happy to be here with you today for a Tortora-squared moment. It's been a minute. So we are here, bro and sis. Miss Francesca Tortora is here with us this morning, and this is for a Dolphin Dive takeover. So as you all know, in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Moyne College, we have our Dolphin time every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Well, we'll be carrying this broadcast all the way through. So the Dolphins have the takeover today. Franny has the takeover today. And we are celebrating CNS North Stars, where you are an alum of. And of course, we're celebrating her move to Moyne with 2 years of eligibility after getting her degree, dual degree, 2 bachelors in 3 years. Some people can't get a bachelor's in 4. She got 2 and 3. So we'll talk about all of that here this morning inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here in the Great Lakes Honda City studios, youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. We thank everybody watching and listening up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. So with that being said, sis, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to do this again.
Yes.
It's nice to have you back home.
We have a lot to catch up.
Yes, we
Lots
do.
of stuff.
We have a lot of things. We were catching. The reason why we're a little behind this morning is because we were catching up before you get to hear us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, how are things?
Things are good. A lot of change.
Yeah.
A lot of change, but all good change for sure.
And when you look at the change that you've had, Stony Brook is where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And Stony Brook is where you've gotten to spend some time.
Yes.
So, but I've talked about it with you, and I've kind of talked about it off the air, but you had a very interesting situation where
very unique. All the words to describe that. Yeah.
You thought that there was like remnants of a concussion.
Yes.
That had been going on for years.
Yeah.
You went to primary care, specialist.
So many, yeah.
I remember I was at Animal Kingdom in Disney, walking through Pandora, and I remember where I was, and you said to me, "Oh, I was almost in a coma."
Yeah.
Describe to everybody what happened.
So, with seeing all these specialists, I obviously, I wasn't feeling good at all, and lacrosse was completely, out of mind. I thought I was never going to play again. I just was trying to feel better. And it was at the end of my freshman year. I was packed up. I was ready to come home for the summer and kind of reset. And I wasn't feeling good. And I went into urgent care and they pricked my finger. My blood sugar was at 600. And I found out that I was diabetic this whole entire time.
Your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just the last couple of years. And you can have a late wave where you develop it from 18, 19, 20, but it's super rare. So that's why they never checked it, because usually you get diagnosed when you're 5.
When you're little, yeah.
So, but yeah, so I spent that summer kind of getting used to a new disease that I'm going to live with. And it was, obviously there's hard days, but it was way easier than I thought, because now my body's functioning how it should. And it was good news in the long run, but it was just, it was crazy to think about just that, it was 2 more weeks. And they were like, yeah, you'd be lucky if you were in a coma. I was like, oh, that's good. All right.
And I remember you, like I said, when I was there walking through the line, I remember you saying that to me, and I just stopped.
It was crazy.
And I was like, what do you mean? You're like, yeah, normal's 100. I was at 600. And I was like, what do you mean coma? And if they hadn't just that day thought hey, we should do something.
It was an urgent care nurse. Out of all these specialists, it was just this nice lady who's just a nurse at urgent care, and she was just
not in a hospital, just at one of these, walk up places.
She's like, I'm gonna double check this, and I was like, all right, girl. All right.
Oh, 600. Okay. Does that mean I'm extra smart or things are really good?
So that was the other thing. Also, it's supposed to be a hereditary like disease, but there's nobody in our family that I know really have it.
That has type 1, yeah.
Yeah, so usually like type 2, which the difference in people knowing the difference in that is just a whole nother thing. But so I was like, yeah, like I don't really know what that is, and they were like, no, like you're going to the hospital, and I was like, no, but like I'm fine. Like I don't really know what that is. I really don't think I have that. And they were like, no, honey, like you gotta go. And I was like, oh, all right.
And you don't have a choice. You're going to the hospital today.
Exactly.
So
fun adjustments.
Was that terrifying at the time?
I think that I'm just somebody that always, no matter what the situation that I'm in, like I'm always going to roll with the punches and I'm always going to figure it out in the situation.
Yeah.
And then, deal with it later on. So, like, I don't think it really hit me until, like day 3 in the hospital. And they were, like, explaining everything with me. And I was like, oh, God, this is a lot.
What did your dad do? I was like, was he sitting there taking notes? Or was he going, Franny, like, they're speaking Chinese right now?
We both were just, like, my mom was definitely, like, taking the notes and everything, and me and him were just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Thank you, Jenna. As these two are like, there's a Yankee game tonight, we need to get home. Thank you for taking the notes.
I know, I'm like, can we go? And they're just like piling all the supplies and like explaining what it is, and I'm like,
he told me that he's like all this stuff, and he's like, now I think we got it figured out. But I was just picturing your dad looking at a box, going like, so like, how do I have to inject her? Like, what do I have to do?
Yeah, and it was just like, there's so many, like, you can, like, waking up makes your blood sugar go up. Like, there's so many factors on the day-to-day that, like, it's almost, I'm obviously super grateful that I was diagnosed later in life and I could live a childhood. Like, a lot of kids, like, deal with this growing up, and, like, I was able to learn about it and learn how to manage it as an adult. Yeah. And obviously I was going to be at school. I didn't have my parents. So that summer it was really just like they obviously know like the major stuff and the like emergency stuff, but like it needed to be on me. Like the day-to-day stuff, it wasn't going to be them, like I'm an adult. I live alone for 7 out of 12 of the months of the year, so I really just spent that summer kind of learning, and I learned new stuff about it every day, so it was a big learning curve for sure.
Well, and I go back to my godson Noah, who I think was 7 when it might have been earlier, when they diagnosed him with type 1, and I'll never forget this because he's always been like an adult child, and so he's coming home, and Johnny is a brother to me, and Johnny said, he's sitting in the back seat, and he said this thing, and he's like, I didn't know what to say. He was sitting in the back, and he's like, Noah just came out of his mouth. He said, Dad, it's not fair that I have to live with this. Yeah. And that's as a little kid, Yeah. So how have you adjusted to it?
Yeah. I think, like I said, there's good days and bad days, and I think having kind of the personality where you're like a little bit of both sides, where like people that are super want to be perfect all the time, like diabetes is gonna control your whole entire life because it's not gonna be perfect no matter what you like. It's just not reality. But then obviously not caring about it and being super laid back, you're not going to be able to manage it well either, and you're not going to be healthy, and there's obviously huge risks if you're not taking care of yourself. So I think having me being a little bit in the middle, like, the 5% of the time where I'm like, you know what, I just lost today, and that's okay, and we're going to go to sleep, and we're just going to start new tomorrow, and, it's okay. And like, diabetics our A1C is our average of 3 months, so like, even with bad days, and I put bad days in like quotes, they're not really bad days, but just days where you're not in range all the time. Yeah. Like, as long as your A1C is good, like you have a bigger cushion than you think. It's not like type 2 diabetics where they have to make like lifestyle changes, Yeah. I actually say all the time, because there's so many misconceptions about it, that like I have never like drank as much sugar like my whole entire life than until I was a diabetic, like correcting the lows from working out and like stuff like that. And like I've never always had candy and like on board, and so it's actually the opposite, but people think, you know, they don't really know that.
You didn't actually see it, but to the studio, Fran broke the door like the Kool-Aid guy when she came through this morning.
And the good thing is it's like, you have to be able to joke about it too.
Yeah.
Like like my locker room at Stony Brook, I would have teammates that would go in my locker and like steal my lemonades at halftime. Like you gotta laugh at it for sure.
Yeah. But you now have a system.
Yes.
And you understand it.
Yeah.
And the thing is there's two things that I think of. The day that you told me that and standing in line there, I thought to myself, like, not happy you have it, but thank God we have an answer.
An answer, right.
And I think that's how, like, you were feeling at that time, your dad was feeling at the time, I'm sure your mom was like, why? Because you drove home one day, called your dad, and you couldn't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I
After
think,
the games,
so I feel like in that moment, I was like, thank you, God, that we know that it's not life-threatening.
Right.
And that hopefully she can still play now that we know what it is.
Yeah, and there's so many, and it makes some days harder, obviously, but, like, there's so many, there's people in the NFL, there's people in the MLB, there's people in the NBA that, like, you know, are type 1 diabetics, and you see it, and their life looks a little bit different, and, like, they have a little bit more support, and, like, but it's still doable. It's just, you know, everybody has their own personal stuff, and like I said, it may look a little different behind the scenes, but there's nothing that you can't do with it, for sure.
Well, yeah, and to me, for you, it was number one to know that you can live.
Oh yeah.
Number one to know that it wasn't this phantom, like sometimes I'm not going to see, sometimes I'm going to feel awful, sometimes my head's going to be killing me. Like to know what it was, to know that there's a way to correct it, there's a way to get healthy, and then to give you back something that was taken away from you.
Yeah, and there's a whole community like of people that have it, and like I've never seen anybody with a sensor or pump, or I just never notice it. And now that I got diagnosed, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people that have it. Like I see it everywhere.
Noah wears the thing on his arm. Yeah. So, and the thing is like, after he got, like, he started playing soccer. Yeah. And
he's like, oh my God, I have energy. Like, I feel good. Like, this is what I'm supposed to feel.
And he's great at it. But it's like, you know, it didn't make him go like, oh, I love life, and now I'm just going to sit on the couch. Yeah. It was like, now he's playing soccer, going out and doing his thing, and he even knows, like, last time I saw him, we were out at something, and his mom was like, hey, where are your numbers at? And they have an app, and he can check himself and be like, okay, and they know how much time he has to go get a snack or something like that, so. Yeah,
and that's a whole, like, the technology, too. Like, this isn't, like, being a diabetic 30 years ago. Like, I have my friends and my family on my app, and like they'll laugh too. They'll be like, hey, you feel like drinking some juice, or are you just gonna rock at 50 today? Like, but obviously for those emergency things, and just like, and they can check in and see how my day's going too by that. So the support's there, especially when you're like me and you sleep through the alarms. It's good to have.
So should I feel bad that I'm not one of the people on the app yelling at you, Fran?
I had to set a limit. Everybody wanted to be on it at once. I was like, all right, I'm getting too many notifications about this.
You're like, Fran, I love you, and you still didn't send me a picture for the show, but could you drink a juice right now?
Literally.
Do you think that maybe there's a candy bar around?
I'll answer like Soph's phone call, and I'll be like, what? And she'll be like, hold on. And she'll go check the number, and she'll be like, oh, okay.
I just want to make sure, Yeah. So you just have to make sure. But Fran here with us this morning and celebrating the fact that lacrosse for you came back.
Yes, yeah.
And we are going to discuss the road back of all the things that are in Franny's control. And the fact that during COVID, in the beginning, when all of you were like in the house sleeping, she was training the same, if not more. So
it was like boot camp.
Yeah. So probably the worst thing that could have happened when COVID happened was Derek being home and being like, hey, Fran, now we have 24 hours because the world has completely stopped.
He's like, you want to know what's awesome? Gyms are closed, but guess what? I have a key to the gym. I was like, great.
Guess what? Nobody could go anywhere. Yeah. However, I have a key.
He's like, good thing that like the hills are open.
I was gonna say that he's like, hey, the steps don't close during COVID.
It's like neither does the wall, and neither does the goal in the backyard. I'm like, all right, I was humbled very quickly.
And Franny couldn't turn around and be like, well, I have to go to work. I have class. No, everything's closed.
Yep.
So just so you all know, even if the military wasn't training during COVID, Franny was. We'll discuss that right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There was a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean-to-cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us in this edition of the Dolphin Dive. And in this edition of the Dolphin Dive, it is also Tortora-squared. Yes. And so we have the opportunity to be here with my little sis, Fran Tortora. And Fran is here back home with Moyne. And that's why you're seeing that Moyne logo here this morning in this edition of the Dolphin Dive. But I want to get to the training. I go back to, I want to go to COVID training. Okay. And then I want to go to, I know that I have diabetes and now I can get after it and train again. Yeah. So were they different?
I would say yes, a little bit. Okay. I'd say the overall, getting up and doing something every day and getting done whatever I needed to get done definitely didn't change. And the motivation behind it, I think the only factor that changed is I think now my appreciation for putting my cleats on and having a lacrosse stick in my hand is just, not that I didn't appreciate it before, but I guess I wasn't as appreciative. Yeah. And I feel like it's a crazy feeling, but I literally feel like when I have my cleats on and even I'm just shooting every day, by myself or with Soph or with my dad, that it's just it's fun to fly around again. Just fly around on the turf and just just play and have that back. So I think that piece has definitely changed. But yeah, I mean, I think over the years and being at Stony Brook, you definitely learn some things to add into your routine or things you needed to, or I needed to work on and stuff. So definitely changing that and evolving, conditioning or whatever. It's definitely not the exact same, but the motivation behind it is for sure.
And like you said, the appreciation, because not that you didn't love lacrosse. I mean, you've always loved it, but when it's taken away from you and you just kind of realize that day of you look at your hands and the stick disappeared. Yeah. And you're thinking, is this ever going to happen again? When you got to step back on the field for the first time, bring me into that game, that moment where you got back on the field and it was real again. Yeah.
I think it was crazy. It was I had my legs for the first time again. It was just fun, and to have the support from the people that saw the last couple years and just the smile. It was just an indescribable feeling. But yeah, it was definitely it was fun to get the cobwebs off, and my original game plan was to ease into it and the trainers, but then I was just like, oh my God, once I got, I was like, I'm not. I'm not stopping. We're just we're going all in. And yeah, it was awesome.
Do you remember the first game back?
It was like more than halfway through the season. I don't remember exactly the first game. But yeah, I remember the first practice back, and it was so much fun. That was where I was like supposed to only do the first like portion of practice, and then I just stayed in the whole time. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not coming out. I'm not. But.
And I can tell you a few things that come to mind. One of them is, I know your first career point in college.
Yes.
Off an assist against William and Mary in April.
Yes.
Of, was it last season or the season before?
Last season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back in 24. And bring me into that moment. First collegiate point ever. You're with the Stony Brook Seawolves. You do it against William and Mary back in April. So we're talking a little over a year ago.
I feel like it almost didn't feel real. Like a lot of it felt like a dream for a while. I feel like where it started to like actually feel real was like once I went home and then I was playing in summer league and I was training every day. I was like, okay, like we're back. Like there's a purpose. There's a reason behind like doing this again. Like it's not just, it was good to be grateful that you're back for like always be grateful, but like excited to just be back. But then it was like, okay, like let's get back to training and like actually like, get back into it.
So you spend your time in Stony Brook. You're there for a few years, 3 years, got your degree, and you were part of a team that has been in the top 3 in the country. Looking back on that, and I know that when we talked for the article and put that exclusive out, and you talked about kind of like, hey, I wanted to be in a different place. But when you reflect back on Stony Brook, what do you appreciate of the time there?
I think there's a lot of, like, you look at who you are now versus like 3 years ago, and it's insane. Especially I feel like at the age of when you're going into college, you're 18 and you're leaving and you're 21. It's just like, I'd say the overall growth, I'd say one aspect of myself that I never thought that I'd have, and I'm by no means saying that I have a lot of this, but I really had no patience going into college. Negative. And
it is one of the first things she'll tell you she doesn't have.
I'm very honest about it. But I do think that overall, my patience has gotten so much better, and just understanding, like, control the things that you can control and take things day by day. Sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes it's, morning versus afternoon. Like, just breaking down to, like, keep your sanity and, be in a good mindset. I'd say learning to do that has kind of just been another layer of feeling like whatever gets thrown at me, or if there's a bunch of different stressors in my life or whatever, that I'll always be able to handle it because I have that mentality. Like, first, split up the controllable and the uncontrollables. Be patient. It's going to be okay. And, like, take it one thing at a time.
I feel like the first thing to put on the t-shirt is I can't, but then there's a ... and says, but I will.
Yeah.
Like, I may not want to have to go through this problem. I may not want to have to deal with this right now, but I will.
Yeah.
And it's funny how we are, 18 years apart? And yet we have like the same, the problems and the issues and the things that we're like, we can't. And then learning the patience and the fact of like, what can you, because as you're saying that, I'm like, I pray to God all the time. I say, heal us completely and for good, no matter what, heal us through you and help us to handle what's in and out of our control.
Yeah. So. And that's a whole nother piece too. You learn that, I think when people say all the time that like they pray for certain things, like you pray for strength, like you're not just gonna get it, you're gonna get challenges that you're gonna find your strength in it. So I think understanding that whole, I learned that through college too, because you want to understand why all the time, and it's not you may not know why ever, or you may not know why for 10 years or 5 years or whatever the case may be. So I'd say definitely letting go of trying to understand everything and like why is this happening to me mindset. It's kind of like, okay, these are the cards that I was dealt with. Let's figure out how to play them.
Yeah, and I think on yesterday's show, the whole like God works for the good of those who believe in him and love him. And it's funny that I talked about that on the show in the morning. That quote popped up later on yesterday night, and I shared it. But David O'Brien's story of, he's like, I applied for a bunch of jobs in athletic communications, and I didn't get them. I was runner-up and the runner-up.
Yeah.
And then I get Binghamton, and he said, I didn't know much about Binghamton. I reached out to people at Stony Brook that I knew, is what he said on the show yesterday. And he's like, they told me about Binghamton.
Yeah.
I go there, and if I hadn't gone to Binghamton, I don't meet Laura at the church that's in the neyborhood. I don't have my wife.
Right.
And so, like, he was
literally
saying,
have
like,
no idea.
like when
why.
you're asking God, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then he literally was the example of what you hear all the time of, like, God is assembling all of these pieces.
Yeah.
And when he brings it all together, it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or, like, the one where you're, like, holding on to a small teddy bear and you're like, I can't let go. And then there's, like, a big teddy bear, like, standing right behind the little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where God's like, your plan is this little teddy bear.
You're like,
and
you
he's
just
always,
let go.
let go of that crazy bear.
Yeah.
Come get this real normal bear.
Exactly.
So, and there's so many things I want to get into, and these were prime examples of how you and I are kind of like attached when we're not even around each other. There's something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I feel the need to bring it up.
Okay.
Because it does bond us as well. We both like Jersey Shore.
Yes.
But we're so not those people.
No, but you can still appreciate it.
I tell people this all the time. I say there are Italians, and then there are New Jersey people, and those are New Jersey people.
It's so true.
They're Italians-ish.
Yeah.
But I said, this is what I say to people when the show first.
It's the aesthetic that they
right.
like.
But the thing that's funny to me is because they want to like do the culture, but like put it on steroids.
Yes.
But the thing I tell people all the time from the beginning of the show, when they said, oh, like Snooki and all this stuff, and they're joking about her, I go, have you ever seen any of us real Italians that are the color orange?
Yeah, no.
No. Because the sun does this.
Yeah.
So, Franny, I gotta ask why. And you're not gonna hide. She's not gonna hide this from her teammates.
No.
So to the girls that want to make fun of her for this, she lives with this badge proudly. Why do you love the Jersey Shore so much?
Well, I think like, you know how everyone has like a comfort show or something that they watch with like
just shut your brain off.
Or even like when you were a little kid, like some people are like, oh, like SpongeBob, like it'll always get me.
I hope that there's not a 5-year-old that's like Jersey Shore gives me peace.
Well, so with my older sister and my dad, we're like normal kids were watching cartoons. We had Jersey Shore night, and like there was a 6-year difference between me and my sister, and like
how old were you when you were watching Jersey Shore?
I was young. I was so young.
Because it came out when I was living in Florida.
I was young.
So I don't like that you said that way.
It was like Jersey Shore.
So I was 22.
Yeah.
So you were 4.
No way.
Yeah. Jersey Shore came out when
I remember it.
Oh, no, wait. No, I wasn't 20.
I wasn't
22.
that young.
That's totally.
Because I remember it.
That's off.
I remember all the episodes.
So I went down. Hold on. I went down into that. I was 24. Wait. No, I wasn't. I was 26. I was 26 when I went down there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
7?
That makes sense.
I don't know. I'm not a math.
Oh, no, it doesn't make sense. Wait, how old was I when I lived down in Florida? So I graduated in 2007. And then I went down. No, I was 23, 24.
Because I remember they were live episodes too.
Well, you're watching the first season. I'm talking about the first
Italy.
season.
I vividly remember when they were in Italy.
Okay.
And it was the live episodes because we would have it. I don't remember what night it was, but like
so
the 3 of us were like, oh my God, like it's Thursday night. Like, let's go. Like,
so I'm 23. That's when the first season comes out. Italy doesn't come out. So I was like 27. So you were like 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like normal kids were like, oh, let's go watch this. I grew up on Mob Wives, Jersey Shore, and then like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I was thrown in there too.
Yeah. But so when I was in Italy with my dad.
Yeah.
A couple months ago. Italy for the first time. I'm walking around Italy, and I said to my dad out of nowhere, I go, Snooki almost ruined this for all of us.
You're like, all I can think about is that scene of Snooki
It's with the
walking
giant
through
wine bottle, and she like drops it, and she's wearing giant slippers, and she's like, she's yelling through like, she's in Italy, and she's like, I just want wine, and they're like, you haven't. She's like, oh, and I remember, I was like, she almost got every American kicked out of Italy.
But here's what, like, and I know some people don't like Jersey Shore, fine, but this is my rule with anybody just in life. Like, I don't care, whatever. You don't have to be perfect as long as you are unapologetically yourself. Like, you have to respect it to a point. You may not agree with the person and how they are and whatever, but at least if they're like, yeah, this is me. Like, if you don't like it, like, whatever, like, that's them. You don't want to watch, don't watch. But they're still going to be, like, Snooki's still Snooki. She's still going to be her at the end of the day. So you got to respect it to a point.
Can we agree that JWoww was prettier before she messed with her face?
Oh, yeah. She was my favorite character.
She looked beautiful.
I say
and
character like they're not real.
Then she, oh, yeah. But she, like, came back on the show.
She was so pretty.
She's
so,
different.
I mean, she still is, but, like...
But she was...
yeah.
When she was first on the show, she was gorgeous.
She was, like... she was gorgeous.
Did I tell you I had a Sammy moment? A Sammy Ron moment?
Oh, God.
In my life.
Oh, God.
But it wasn't with somebody I was dating.
Haven't we all?
But I had... So, the woman that I had been married to about 8 years ago now, it doesn't even feel like we were married.
It feels like another lifetime.
It does. It honestly feels like a parallel life. But, like, so her and I, this was, like, going toward the end. And her sister lived in New York City. Her sister loves alcohol. Hopefully not anymore, or not as much. And so she loved alcohol so much, and she was yelling at me, turned around while she was yelling, walked backwards into New York City traffic at a light, like what walked into a cab, and was standing in the street screaming at me. And I'm looking at my ex-wife. I'm going, does your sister know she's going to get hit by a car? Like, we're in New York City. They will proudly hit
like,
this one.
where's the beach moment?
Yeah, and she backed up, and she's like, and you know what? Another thing, and you're not coming back to the house. And I looked at my ex-wife, and I was like, listen, I don't deserve to be in a Sammy Ron moment if I'm not having sex with that woman. So, like, I was like, there's no intimacy. We do not sleep in the same bed. We do not know each other like that. I looked at her, I go, you realize this is Sam and Ron? But I'm not romantically involved with your sister. And she backed up into traffic, and I was like, she's going to get hit. And then she tells me, she goes, tell my sister to get out of traffic. I go, you tell your sister to get out of traffic. If I tell her, she's going to go deeper in traffic. Whatever I say, she's going to do the opposite.
It's such the where's the beach moment, too.
Yeah. Where's the beach? I still
turn
remember
around.
when Ronnie broke all of her stuff.
Oh my God. And she was like a spider monkey on the bed.
Yeah, but he made it look like micro machines. Like, he literally it looked like Legos. He broke everything into tiny pieces. And then she's just sitting there in the bed, and out of nowhere, and this is perfect for, like, toxic relationships. Of everything broken, millions of things thrown everywhere, she just reaches down, and out of nowhere, her glasses are the closest thing to her, and she's like, Ron, you broke my glasses. And, like, because he broke her glasses,
so
she could never forgive him.
Yeah.
And she punched him on television in the face.
I mean,
But she punched him in the face.
So I think, and I love reality TV, and, like, but the trend on TikTok with all these celebrities, like, because now their children are old enough now where they have their own social medias and they're watching things. No. But, like, JWoww's kid, like, she'll do these reacting, like, videos where she's like, all right, I know you're gonna see it, so let's get this over with. Or, like, Kylie Jenner's kid Stormy saw her, like, King Kylie era. It was, like, when she had, like, blue hair, and she was like her little daughter was like, blue hair with a red outfit. Like, what were you doing? Like, it was just, they're having their full circle moments. Anybody on reality TV right now.
Their children are now on TikTok making fun of them. So, if you were any of the members of Jersey Shore, who would you be?
JWoww.
JWoww?
Yeah.
I figured you would pick that. Because
she's my favorite.
She also is, like, she's kind of a boss bitch.
Yeah, she is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like, Snooki is who she is, like you said. Like, if you're going to be who you are, be proud of it. Angelina, no thank you. And Dina's too much of a meatball for me. So I feel like you could only pick
the girls doesn't really
JWoww.
give you good options, but yeah, I'd say JWoww.
I'm going to ask you this. I'll give my own answer. I would have picked JWoww for you as well, because I feel like she's the most, like, normal, and she will stick up for herself. Really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Why Vinny? I didn't even get to finish what I was saying.
He's sweet and like he's fun, but he's also not like corny. Like he was the only like real Italian out of like the show.
Yeah.
That like didn't play into like the
like
the
his family had veal cutlets
and and the mom would come on the show and cook, and I'd say for sure Vinny.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I would say
I'd say not Vinny now, but like not older Vinny.
Not older Vinny.
But young
Vinny that's just kind of lost his mind. But not Ron, not Mike.
Yeah.
But I will say this. You know my comedic side.
Yeah.
And you know my comedy from past relationship side.
Yeah.
So there is a little part of Pauly D where I would just sit there and watch the train wreck, but I'm staying out of it.
He's such an underrated character. Not that he's underrated, but like even I don't know if you watch the new ones at all.
You're far ahead of me.
Yeah, so
I need to catch up.
But like when Ron was going into his whole issues with his relationship, and she like showed up and she was like bashing Ron, he was like, yeah, but what did you do? Like he's just like he's a good friend for everyone. Well,
and the thing is like he does honestly call people like he
he calls everyone out for their stuff.
And by the way, Ron, just so you know, like we're in my studio, my office is connected. It's connected by a door. And the door hinge don't close unless you pull it shut, Ron. Because I know when you brought that girl home, you said that the door shut itself. Like, I will never forget that. He's like, I don't know what happened. I was showing her the house, and the door just shut in the bathroom. It's like, you locked yourself in the bathroom with her, Ron.
It's just so disappointing because you're like, dude, you already went through your messed up, you already went through your Sam. Like, you gotta grow.
He went through Sam, and then he had a girl, like, dragging him on the highway.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
He
went right back into
He went to another Sam that was
worse,
violent.
Worse.
And by the way, what is that girl's name?
Jen.
I was going to say, I knew it was a J.
Yeah.
She looks like an MMA fighter.
No,
she terrifies me.
Yeah.
I feel like she beats him on a good day.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not together anymore, but I feel like she would hit him when she's happy.
It was like when Jenny hit Mike.
And I was, wait, I got to remember Jenny. Wait, hold on, how long ago?
Because Mike got her kicked out of the club. And she came back and punched him in the face, and she was like, he kicked me out of the club, and then went to bed.
What do you want me to do? But because that was earlier on.
Yeah.
But Jen, like, Ron would show up, and Ron would do, like, the Lifetime movie, like, I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
I banged into the door.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, what is, like, there's, and then they were sharing, and by the way, hey, listen, have I put a cryptic message out on social media when somebody treated me poorly, and I might put out a quote or something? Yeah, but like, don't put your private in the public world.
Bad idea.
Because like Ron and Jen, it was like you were seeing their text message fight like in the world.
But what I don't understand is like they have children.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna see like everything on social media stays on social media so
forever. By the way, if you put it on the internet, it's there forever.
Oh, some of these celebrities are
forever
learning that.
Like all those risque pictures that you put out, like everything is there forever. And it's funny because
or tweets that you tweet and then like 10 years later change your like viewpoint on something and then try to be like a hypocrite about it, and then all somebody does is like pull up your old tweet and then it's everywhere. Yeah.
I've never lied about anything, and then they pull it up and they're like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about that? So I could name some people. We talked yesterday on the phone about that.
Yeah.
But by the way, after we got off the phone, one of the people that they were getting fact checked on television yesterday. And they don't even care. They will fact check. How do people fact check people and then say wild stuff and then don't even blink when you call them out?
I don't know.
That's called a narcissist?
Yeah.
Somebody who's like...
It's a lot.
Yeah. I think we've learned a lot about narcissism.
Yeah.
You and I both.
Oh, yeah.
The people that do bad things to you and then you react and they get mad at your reaction, but not what you did.
Yeah.
That's like all Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
So Jersey Shore is in season, like, I don't even know, 14 now or something ridiculous?
They need to just, I can't wait till, even for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where the kids can have their, like, because it's just old at this point. So I can't wait till, like, when the kids take over, maybe, like, a spinoff. Like, that'd be so much fun.
If you had to choose, like, if you were the kid. And
who my parents would be.
Well, we're going to do that.
Okay.
But I want you to choose. So let's say Sam and Ron had a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you have to choose mommy or daddy.
Oh, God.
Who would you choose between that wonderful toxic?
Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I
like how this is the most, like, deep conversation we've had this morning. Like, your thought into this.
Because looking at both of them right now, Sam grew up. Ron didn't.
Okay. That's fair. Ron went, like, bad past Mike.
Yeah.
He passed past Mike.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And past Mike was something else.
But he was young. Ron's doing all of this at like 45.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So if you had to pick your parents, Jersey Shore.
I'd want JWoww to be my mom, but I don't.
You want Jenny to be your mom.
In a dream, it'd be Paulie and Jenny.
Okay. Who almost got together.
Because I think that I wish they got married.
When I went back and watched the beginning of the beginning, I didn't realize I forgot. They almost happened.
Yes.
And it would have been like a power couple.
Yes. Oh my God, it would have been perfect.
They would have spun off and done their own thing, and then those crazy people would have just killed each other.
Yeah.
Without Paulie and JWoww, like that entire people would have died.
I agree.
So, no, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Totally.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I think, I would agree. Ron, but there are some things that I love from the show.
Yeah.
That I just love to yell at. And this is the Paulie side of me. Is the grenade whistle. Like, I like there's certain things that you just love to.
Yeah.
You know, because I still do the awkward thing.
Yeah.
If I'm in a room.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a lot of really good one-liners.
A lot of them are Paulie, though.
Yeah.
Vinny probably has some stuff.
Snooki has a bunch, too.
Who do you think has the best one-liners?
Oh, Paulie. Without a doubt.
Do you think that
Snooki's moments, like her like moments, she has the best.
To me, she's like a giant fur ball. Like, she's just like a giant.
Or honestly,
she's like a stuffed animal that came to life.
Yeah.
And then did LSD.
Yeah. But
my best to you, Snooki. I don't think you did that, but you just a lot of energy.
Dina too. Like when Dina and Mike argued, and she like her clapbacks. Oh, they're so good.
I feel like Mike. It was probably easy to clap back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Mike, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, Mike looks like Pauly Shore, the actor. He did before Mike got but then he went to jail. Mm-hmm. And it's so weird to think that that actually happened.
But then he also he joked around. He was able to laugh at himself, which is why I like Mike.
And I feel like the woman that he ended up with, she is his
awesome. Yeah.
She holds him down.
Yeah.
So, and I remember when she came back in his life and they went to that Italian restaurant, I still remember all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you don't forget. So, they've had Jersey Shore. Mm-hmm. They had when they went to Miami. Mm-hmm. They had the Italy.
Florida.
Italy, back to Jersey Shore. Uh-huh. Then they went to Miami more than once, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was New Jersey, Jersey Shore, Italy. Then they took a break. Then they did the family reunion. Is that what came after?
Yeah.
What is it now? Is it just Jersey Shore again?
I think it's still family reunion.
Are they all? See, I haven't watched most recent. Yeah. Are they all back?
Angelina's always getting kicked out and then coming back and then getting kicked out and then coming back.
Why is she getting kicked out?
Because she's just her.
She's a lot.
She's a lot.
She's a lot.
And she also she like drags them on social media, and then we'll show up to the vacations and be like, hey, and everyone's like, you just got us in like 7 scandals on the 3-month off season of the show.
By the way, when she's like, Mike, tell everybody what you call me, dirty little hamster.
Yeah.
That was funny. But
Well, she has the dirty little hamster tattoo.
oh, she does.
So she did you do it with like a couple, and like you're blindfolded, and each couple like picks a tattoo, and you don't know what it is until it's on. And her husband put the dirty little hamster
On her?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There's also relationships that you kind of knew were not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Like, she was with Chris, right?
Uh-huh.
And that didn't. He never looked like he liked her for like a minute. Every time she spoke,
I don't think Angelina likes Angelina.
That's probably true.
That's probably the issue.
That's probably the thing right there. So is Sam still a part of it or no?
Uh-huh.
So Sam is
She
back.
she just got back like for a season or 2.
Because it was usually like it was like a divorce. You either got Sam or Ron.
Now you get both.
Now you get both. And Ron is still
He's
insane.
better.
He's better.
Better,
now.
yeah,
Okay.
he's way better.
See, I haven't seen the
Angelina's
most recent.
really the only issue, which I think that's why they keep it going, because otherwise they have no drama if she's not like
Right.
fadoodling and things.
What is your favorite thing between T-shirt time, grenade whistle, and awkward? What's your favorite
T-shirt
call
time.
out? T-shirt time. Okay. There's a lot of teams that have used that too. When they're shooting out the T-shirts, they do the whole it's T-shirt time. So okay, and gym tan laundry.
Oh yeah, that one I use the most.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Probably like way more than I should.
That's fair. So this edition of Wake Up Call was apparently brought to you in conjunction with Jersey Shore. But you said you like reality shows.
Love.
The funny thing is,
I don't like them. I love them.
here's the funny thing though. You're not looking at dramatic people. You're looking at very real people. We don't like drama.
Yes.
I watch one reality show religiously.
Okay.
Did I tell you that I auditioned for it?
Big Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one I watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I like
Fair.
Big Brother.
Fair.
And I wouldn't like people lying to me, but I feel like God has prepared me with past relationships romantically and past friendships and business stuff that I could handle and read.
Yeah.
I feel like I would do a good job at reading people, finding character,
Yeah.
and then finding a way to not have to lie, but like deal with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'd be good on Big
Yeah.
Brother now.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun. I never got into it, but I think it would be fun.
I feel like it would be great if we could go on a show like that and pretend that we don't know each other. And you could go run one side of the
Imagine.
house and I'll do the other side of the
Imagine.
house. And we'll just we'll kind of fight in the kitchen sometimes.
Yeah.
But like you'll do your thing, I do my thing. And then when you're head of household, I'll just come in and you'll be like, you already know.
I forgot which reality show did, but they did that and they were sisters. Or they said they were sisters, but they weren't.
Yeah.
And then
I
I don't
feel
know
like-
what they did, but it ended up like working out for them.
But the thing is like, as far as, because you have to be athletic and you have to be smart. So I feel like we both can win either challenge. So you become head of house.
Yeah.
And I go up there and I'm like, oh man, Fran's just busting my balls and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm safe.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I become head of household and you come up and they think that we're like scheming or you're trying to be friends with me and we're literally just eating snacks.
I think any show, like even like Survivor, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Because people wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And when you win head of household, they send you a basket of the food you like.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, not only would they think we hate each other, but I'd be like, hey Fran, I said, would you ask me for? You want to raise the nuts and just throw them to you you're just like half the bag? I'm like, I got stuff for you. And then you come down crying and you're like, he's such an ass.
So mean.
Can't believe he said that to me. But that would be fun.
That's a good bucket list.
Yeah, we need to try and go on Big Brother. We need to figure that out. It's 3 months away from everything.
Yeah. I just don't know if I could ever. I don't know.
Do you know where it is? You're on a set,
Uh-huh.
but you're in the house, and it's in a place that you and I both don't want to go. It's in California.
Oh.
But we're not in California.
Tell me what you're
We're
in.
in a house in California.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go into the streets, which are on fire right now.
Which you can't go anyways.
You can't really go anyways. So we've talked about reality shows and our future on Big Brother. what is something going back to the world of lacrosse? When we talk about things, bucket list things, do you have bucket list stuff still with 2 years of eligibility?
Oh my God, yes.
What do you have?
I have, obviously Moyne just went D1. So hopefully I'll be there for 2 years. So hopefully can start the kind of run on conference championships would be a very good first goal. So that's definitely on the bucket list. And then obviously individually to just do the best that I can, and I think overall to just walk off the field in 2 years with no regrets is all that I could ask for. So I'd say those three kind of areas, definitely.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but do you think that people in collegiate athletics have seen the best of Fran?
No, not at all. No. Which is why I'm excited to, I'm very blessed that I have a fresh start and in a new environment with girls that are absolutely amazing. Like, we're doing summer league, and it's just I was telling my dad last night when I got home from my game, I was just it's so different. And it's just so refreshing to just be competitive. Yeah. And just still be able to laugh and have fun and literally genuinely laugh and not just okay, everyone's miserable, let's
let's just
get through the day. No, you're playing and you're with people, you're home, and you're playing for your community and in your community, and the girls that I train can come and watch me. It's an indescribable feeling that was just very different from Stony Brook.
And to me, I almost feel like it's like that. Like you said, it's a fresh start, but it's almost like nothing else has happened, and it's all this moment. Yeah. Because the last time that we saw you here, you're a champion. Yeah. And by the way, for folks that don't know, that 2020, 2021 season, 2020 was not the only COVID. 2021 also had it. We were allowed to play, won a sectional championship at CNS, but you guys didn't get to play for states.
No, yeah, we didn't do states.
Because states was still not happening.
Yes.
So it's almost like a return to Central and Upstate New York is like a unfinished business overall.
Yeah. I think it's just, again, when you're playing in, I don't care what anybody says, and I think with age that changes too. I feel like when you go through the recruiting process the first time, you want to be as far away from home as possible, and you just want a fresh start, but it changed. When you're playing home, it's a different feeling. It's something special. And obviously home's, there's two big colleges in Syracuse. It's Syracuse and Moyne. So it's just, I think it'll be fun to also maybe open up a path for high school girls to look at the fact that there's nothing wrong with staying home either, and going to a smaller university and being happy, and there's a lot of things wrong with the recruiting process and sports overall, but I think maybe being able to I don't know, I think you're 17, 16 going through the recruiting process. You change you know what I mean? You change your mind every 30 seconds. So it's I think the best thing if you have somebody in high school is just teach them their priority list. It shouldn't be getting far away from school as possible. It's what's the team dynamic in the locker room? Yeah. Or the financial questions, happiness, what's the team dynamic? What's the coaching dynamic? What's,
Not what do the jerseys look like?
Yeah.
How nice is the facility?
100%. What's in the area? You're a D1 athlete. You don't have time to explore the area anyways. Yeah. So, and so I don't know. I guess it's priority stuff, with that too. And having support, where do you have support? If you, if I went to school in Texas or a state really far away, I wouldn't have the support from family or doctors. Everybody needs something different. So I would say, that the whole recruiting process and priority list changed definitely for me the second time.
When you went into the transfer portal, which is I always wonder what it would look like. What if you actually could walk through it? What
they
would
don't tell you,
right? So because we can't see it.
No.
unless you're in it,
So
you can see it, coaches can see it, but
I
like,
never even like I had never even like actually like went on
Right.
and like saw it. So
but even like with media, like we're not in it.
yeah.
We just kind of like, you can be privy to who's in it and what's going on, but like I can't physically. And
Yeah.
I think about it like the Matrix. Like I want to like go in and see like, are there just like numbers and stuff flying across you, or is there people
it's
everywhere?
very, from what I've said, or what I've seen, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's like they said, it's the school you leave from, your grade, and your name. That's it.
That's all that's
That's
there.
all that's there.
Yeah.
And like, again, another thing that probably should be changed is they should probably add your eligibility left. So like I had
Yeah.
a very unique situation where like it said on my thing, Francesca Tortora, Stony Brook Jr. But I was graduating early
Yeah.
and I would be transferring as a grad, and I have 2, maybe 3, but 2 years left of eligibility. And like it doesn't say that on the thing. So like on that thing it's
Yeah.
under, and for college coaches, like their budgeting is different from undergrad to grad or like whatever, like, so yeah, it does not give a lot of information.
Well,
at
you
all.
don't know anymore. Like
No.
during COVID, I had to add a year to everybody and then say like, okay, so they're actually a year older than what it says, but they have that year. And then now that's dropped off. But then there's the conversation, will the NCAA extend and give you 5 years? There's that conversation of like, will there be 5 years? And then there's JUCO that don't want any of their years to count.
Love that.
Like that side of it. And you said you love that.
Yeah, so my
Because
dad,
Diego Pavia is who started the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my dad played JUCO, and that was obviously before when, like, you know, that counts as your freshman year. So,
Back with the
right?
Flintstones.
Yes.
I'm kidding. Back when you started your car with your feet, Derek. You remember? So I have to mess with him a little bit, but I don't want him to do that thing the next time I see him where he's like, "Nice joke, Danny," and then he looks at me. I'd be like, "I love you. Listen, my muscles got bigger, Derek. I'm getting more prepared. No one can be as big as the Hulk, but I'm trying."
But it's funny, like, obviously I went to a school like CNS, and it's different from like where my dad went to school. Obviously, very different. It's not a secret. And I don't know. I had a bunch of friends that played football, and like mainly like boys athletes, but even girls too. I feel like even girls JUCO's even like less like looked at as like an option, because like I don't know. There's just like a negative kind of like around it, like energy around it. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like. And their reasoning behind either prep or JUCO would be prep school, you don't have to lose any eligibility, but like you're paying for a bonus here, and like JUCO, I don't know. I think I'm glad that they did that so it can be like a good option again, because it always was, whether you don't have good grades coming out of high school, your body's just not ready, or you need a little bit more time before you get to the college level. Like, I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I'm glad they changed that rule.
Well, you look in our community, and OCC is light years different than what it was.
Yeah.
You can live on campus now. There's a beautiful facilities. The SRC arena is where the TBT has been.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have this, and I mean, they hold sectional playoffs there. There is such an amazing thing on the hill there with OCC that's just a few minutes from Syracuse University. And to me, I'm like, if you go there and you play in sports, a lot of those sports are competing for championships. We look at what men's lacrosse has done. We look at the success with women's basketball has been incredible. Mike Wheeler, in all the time that he was there, he was like a top 3 team in the country vying for national championships. Yeah. And then Kelly Grinnell-Sight, who is now the coach who played for him, I just saw her a few days ago. I go, Kelly, with all due respect, like when Mike left, I thought, how is this going to stay good? I think that she arguably has brought it higher.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I'm talking to people in the community like, we didn't even know OCC had sports. We didn't even know this and that. And I'm like, if you go to campus now, like you can live on campus, the facilities they have there, the gym that they have there, and then the workout area, they have the YMCA that's right there. And then, like I said, with the SRC arena, what they've done with their facilities, there's other schools and other places that asked to use their facilities for their sports. Yeah. And so I don't think junior college should be frowned upon at all if that's the route you take.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that they changed that rule, because I know that the 17, 16, 17-year-olds out of high school were like, well, I don't want to lose any of my eligibility. Well,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going to play football or a lot of sports at a school, you're a big school, like, you're not, and especially with grad transfers being 21, 22, 23, like, you're not playing at 17, 18 anyways, so you might as well, you know, go somewhere that you are going to play and can build a foundation, get stronger, and, you know, better at your game. And I think it's just a different perspective now, so I'm glad they lifted that.
We are going to discuss, going off of that, how the heck this woman got 2 degrees in 3 years. We're going to do that after the break.
Oh, God, yeah.
So we will be back right after this. If you thought that she was a menace on the field, classroom is not much different. She gets after it there, too. Wake up call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. This Dolphin Dive takeover is also Tortora-squared with my little sister Fran, myself, Dan Tortora. We'll be back right after this fast break talking about the educational side of things, which, by the way, other sport shows, there's a student and student athlete.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we, of course, in this edition of Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, have the Dolphin Dive takeover. And it's the first time that Tortora-squared is a Moyne-centric broadcast as well. So we will discuss Moyne a little bit more, but not before we talk about how my little sister got 2 degrees in 3 years, when I know people that took 10 years to get like almost 1 degree. So and again, let me preface this by saying, if you know Fran, no surprise, but going through everything with your health, things out of your control, and maybe in a way, because all of that was out of your control, you fought so hard in the classroom because it was in your control.
Yeah, I think overall, it's just crazy to think, like, from the beginning on the, like, completely setting athletics aside and only focusing on academics. Like, I went into college like a normal 18-year-old and had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, absolutely none. I had, like, maybe lawyer, maybe, like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so I started what every college athlete does and goes into business, whether they have, any motivation behind it.
I'm sure I had another school that I won't name that was covered by HBO that went into yoga.
Right.
The student athletes were in yoga classes.
The student athletes probably would have got more out of that. But also, before that, I do want to give credit where credit's due. And CNS, I went into college a whole semester ahead.
Yeah.
I'm good in common sense stuff, but like I'm not the smartest when it comes to chemistry and like these classes and stuff like that. So I never took AP classes in high school, but I took SUPA classes, which were Syracuse credits through CNS, and OCC credits through CNS. So I was able to get my intro to business credit, my English credit, my math credit, and my sociology credit my senior year of high school. So I came in and like usually think about it when you went to college, like you struggled to pass like the math credit and the English credit, like those are the hard ones. I didn't have to take that. So I came in a whole semester ahead, then went into business. So I started taking these business classes before I even did my my normal classes because they were already done.
Yeah. Like your liberal arts.
Yeah, exactly. So then I did my law internship that summer, and
I remember.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I'd say anybody that doesn't know what they want to do, just get in, like talk to as many people as you can. I was on phone calls with psychiatrists, lawyers, like doctor, like I was on the phone with everybody, just like what's your day to day, asking all these questions because I had no idea. So I did my law internship, and I very quickly realized that it was not for me.
Fran's like, wait, you have to be inside how long? All day. And I have to read books that look bigger than Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I told my dad I'll play a lawyer on television.
Yeah.
Because he was a lawyer for 44 years. But like you and I in an office all day long. No.
And it was also too, like,
that thing.
There's some people that genuinely just like work and want to clock out. Like I need to feel that validation of helping somebody and like I'm making a difference. And like if I don't have that, I'm gonna be like, why am I doing this?
Right.
Because I'm not like a super money driven person. But so I then went in and I was like, all right, this is, I don't really like doing my business classes. I was like, I'm not like motivated to climb the corporate ladder either. But it's always good to have a background in business, like we were saying, like, so regardless of what you go in, you're not getting taken advantage of, like, what's happening. You have some sort of knowledge to how businesses work, because everything's a business. So I decided I was already halfway through the business credits, and I added psychology, because obviously it's like a super big area and there's a lot of different jobs that you can do with that. And so I went into our student athlete, like, academic advisor, and I told her, and she was like, well, like, you can double major. And she's like, it's going to be very hard. But, like, we just had a girl do it in 4 years, and she played soccer. And I was like, okay, well, like, why not? Like, I can always drop the other one. Like,
Fran heard 4 and she thought 3.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, like, let's add it. And then I started like my psychology classes. And, like, one of the first ones I took was like psychology of addiction, and I just like fell in love with it. It was so much fun. And like, I knew that regardless of what area, I was going to be helping somebody. And it was just like, I don't know, it was a new perspective to everything. And it was like the area in life that like I like helping people and just understanding, like, everyone struggles with something different. And so it was a good start. So then I started talking to psychiatrists and counselors and all of that. And yeah, so I was just like, I'm going to do it. And then I entered the transfer portal, and I was like, I'm not leaving here without my degree. I don't care what. Because when you transfer, if you transfer undergrad to undergrad, like, you lose credits. No matter if you go SUNY to SUNY or you go, like, it doesn't matter. Like, they all do not transfer.
That's what people don't pay attention to. It's like, you got 30 credits, and then the school's like, we'll give you 3 of them.
Yeah.
And you're like, so I'm basically a freshman again?
And my biggest, I hate wasting my time. Hate wasting my time. So I'm like, I did not go through the classes that I went through to, no, absolutely not. So I was like, I looked at what I had left, and I was like, okay, I have a winter session, spring, and then a summer session. And I was like, can I do it? And they were like, all right, you're going to have to do 2 summer classes, or 2 winter classes, 7 spring classes, and then 4 summer sessions, but we'll let you walk in May, and then obviously finish up and everything, and then I can transfer as a graduate. And I was like, I'm not leaving my degree without got my degree. And like also too, Stony Brook's a great academic school, and to say you have an education from Stony Brook was huge, and I didn't want to lose that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, just it was definitely hard. I mean, you think a normal college student takes 5 classes is a lot. Like taking 7 300 and 400 level classes, like where they're all like the highest level, like what you would be taking your senior year, which is usually when you drop the number of classes to focus on them, and I was upping it. I was crawling across the finish line, but I got there.
You did it. You got your degree.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Psychology and business, dual major.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a grad student.
Yes.
And you still have 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You said 2 and then you went maybe 3.
Yeah, well, because I just feel like, I don't know. It's hard to, like, they have the rules about, like, how many games you played and, like, all that stuff. Like, you can always go back and look at certain seasons. So I know for sure 2, maybe 3, but I think just 2.
Now, at the time that you're at Lemoyne, you and I
Mm-hmm.
talked about this on the phone yesterday. Mm-hmm. So Lemoyne is in as of July 1st, they're officially in year 3 of the reclassification from NCAA D2 to D1.
Love that.
So the NEC said they changed their rule, and their rule was, okay, the NCAA has 4 years where you can't participate in the postseason. The NEC had 2. Okay. The NEC got rid of that. So Lemoyne has been able to compete in championships for everything but men's lacrosse from the beginning, and then they added lacrosse back, so now men's lacrosse got to compete in it this past year, but women's lacrosse has been able to. So the NEC is not an issue. You can compete for NEC titles. But in your time that you're here, if you have 2 years left, if Lemoyne does everything that they need to do in year 3, they could reclassify in 3 years instead of 4, which means that before you leave Lemoyne, you could, and your teammates, have an opportunity for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So,
Fun stuff.
I feel like Lemoyne should do what Fran did, do 4 and 3.
Yeah.
Like do 4 years and 3. But there's a window.
Yeah, yeah.
But no matter what, you know that there's a window with women's lacrosse that you and your teammates, led by Liz Bevel and the crew, have an opportunity to win an NEC title.
Yeah.
At least twice.
Yeah, exactly.
In your next couple years.
I think it's something, there's a lot of rules, like I said, in literally every area when it comes to athletics that could probably be updated and changed. And I just think that obviously it's awesome because it's like, okay, yeah, it takes 3 years before they're eligible, but like these girls may be out of like time, like we don't have an unlimited amount of clock that's just like I can play until whatever, but I think it's just awesome to be able to give the girls and us like an opportunity to do that. And lacrosse is fun, but it's also competitive, and you want to win and you want to compete, and like just to be having something hold you back. I don't think that's fair, so I think that's awesome that they did that.
Controllable, y'all can win the NEC.
Exactly.
Uncontrollable, can't play in the NCAA yet.
Yeah.
So when we talk about controllables and uncontrollables, but I think the more that teams that are reclassifying win, it pushes the NCAA to go like, this is stupid.
Right. Because
Like
they're
when
making a presence that they're ready, and they
Right.
switched for a reason.
Like Merrimack in the NEC won the men's tournament conference-wise, and they got leapfrogged by FDU. FDU becomes only the second school in the history of the men's Division I NCAA tournament in basketball to be a 16 seed that defeats a 1. So if FDU is the second best team and they beat a 1 seed as a 16 seed, then what does that say about Merrimack, who didn't make it?
Right, exactly.
So I feel like the best thing Lemoyne can do is continue to win and continue to push, because women's basketball did it in year 1. They played in the championship in the NEC. The men's team beat FDU that had remnants of the team that beat Purdue. And so there's moments like that where you say, okay, like you're hanging with this, you're doing these things. So, and I know how competitive you are.
Yes.
So you said it's fun to be around your teammates. We know that Lemoyne does recruit this state in central and upstate New York. So what familiar faces, and I asked this question already knowing some of this, but what familiar faces can you share personally that are on the team?
I'd say Sarah Hunter, of course.
From Beeville.
Yes. Yeah. I played club with her. Allie Cole. I played CNS with her forever.
CNS.
Actually, CNS, lacrosse, and basketball.
Yeah, and Allie and Sarah, when they were committing, like I spoke with them from that
they're
beginning.
Great.
So yeah,
they're
awesome.
They're actually, both of them have a very similar like energy that they give off, where like you just like talk about them, you just smile. Like they're awesome.
Yeah.
And then girls also that like I met through summer league too, that like over the last couple of years, like Teresa, and just like getting close to like those girls too, and then Kenzie Prentice too, CNS. Like it's just, I don't know, it's like a familiar feeling. And it's also too, when you go to a new school that nobody knows you, they don't have expectations of you.
Yeah.
Where like these girls also, like, I like that they have an expectation of me, and if I'm not playing to that expectation that they have, that like I'm also getting held accountable in return.
Yeah.
Which I think is like a really cool thing too. And we obviously all have a little bit of chemistry already, so there's not that like awkward couple weeks or first season together learning how to play with each other. Like that awkward period we don't really have, because we've been playing with each other for so long. So I think that's definitely an advantage.
Do you feel like Moyne in a way has like Central New York All-Stars for this season? Because it's like you all get to play together now.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's kind of just like an energy like switch, I guess, where it's just like exciting to kind of, you know, have more pieces to the puzzle and be able to create and do new things and, you know, still have fun doing it.
Being on the same team as Sarah Hunter. Knowing that
I just love her.
and the thing, but she does this too. When I talk to Sarah, because we do our shows, we do our Baldwinsville B shows at Pizza Man, and Sarah's sitting next to me, just smiling all the time. And there's also there's the smiling, and then there's like that kid, like, you know, she's about to do something. Like I remember sitting next to her going, in rapid fire, I'm like, I don't know.
You don't know what
she's gonna ask me. Like I have no idea where you're gonna go. But I had so much fun with her that first interview that I was just like, I like her.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what you said. She's just a likable human. But now, I mean, when we last saw you in Central New York, you're winning a championship at Beeville.
Yeah.
And now y'all are together.
So going off that is really funny. We had a game last night at like 9:15 at night. We're all like exhausted.
Yeah.
And Sarah's taking the draw, and I was like, hey now, like, all right, draw, like, let's go. And we're like joking, and she's like, I'm about to take the draw, how like old Franny took the draw. She like got like made fun of like my form basically when I was younger, and I would take draws, and it was just so funny. Like it's like you went into the archive.
She looked you up.
Yeah,
she found it.
It's just funny. Like you've seen literally like we've played through like the awkward stages, like 12 years old, and like and then like playing with each other in the summer and then playing against each other in the season. Like you just, or even girls that like I've always played against, but I've always been, it's been during season, so it's a competitive space. It's never like, okay, I'm not like, and I was not one to like laugh off ball with the other team. So like playing summer league, like some girls even like Sydney, who was also on Beeville and plays at Niagara now, like I was able to see a completely, like, we've never spoken 2 words to each other playing against each other for years, and then like summer league, I'm like, oh my god, like, cool, we can laugh and joke, and so it's awesome.
So if my memory serves me correctly, and I'm just double checking to make sure that I'm right here, but Sarah on the team wears number 21.
We talked about this yesterday too.
And my favorite number is 21.
Yeah.
Your favorite number is 21. What's going to happen?
She's got it.
She's got it?
Yeah.
So what are you going to wear?
So I don't think it's set in stone yet,
You're
but I
gonna
set
wear 12?
my top 3 options.
Flip it.
I want single digits.
You want single digits? Okay.
I think I picked my top 3 were like 2, 1, and 3, I think. But I really like 2. 2's a cool number.
So I'm going to talk about how we parallel each other. So we both love 21.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just said in this order.
Yeah.
You said 2, 1, and 3.
Yeah.
2, 13, 21, and 13 together is how my grandfather shows up with my number.
Yeah.
So we both love 21, and then
my
just
dad
the way
was 13 too.
And you said 2, 1, 3.
Yeah. Yep.
So again, Just give her number 213. Can we make you 3 digits? Can we do that? Tortora's not a lot to write. We can fit 213. So you like 2 though?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's close to 21, and it's
Yeah.
Derek Jeter's number. I think it's a cool number.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Jeter.
No. Nope.
So you talked about it last night though with Sarah.
Yeah.
She's
like, what number are you picking? I was like, well, not 21.
But she just laughed.
Yeah.
So
That was funny.
because I was like, I know she's number 21.
I didn't realize how popular another, because then Teresa was like, yeah, like I wanted 21 out of high school too. Like it's a good number.
Well, and I used to have it on my chain, but
Yeah.
when I was working at Disney,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one that got lost.
Yeah.
But October 21st is my birthday, which
Yeah.
is why I hold 21.
Yeah.
And then you hold 21 because...
My sister was 20. So when I was really little, I would always like run to get number 20 to have the same jersey number as her. And then I very quickly realized that I wanted to be better than her. So my dad was like, well, why don't you be one better and do 21? So that's that. And then I never went back.
Yeah.
And whenever I would like go to tryouts or whatever, and I would not want 20. Like it was like, I had to break out of her shadow enough that like I didn't want to be the girl that was like, oh, I want the same number as my sister. Like I want.
Which is why I think LeBron is not... If you're trying to be better than Jordan, why are you wearing his number and making his movies and doing all that stuff? But they did. So when I was playing basketball growing up, they had set numbers, and so they would never have 21.
Yeah.
So I wore 23. I wore like...
And you're like, it's almost there, but it's just not.
But it's not. I wore 13. I wore
Yeah.
31. I wore 23.
Yeah.
But like 21 is just like that's...
Oh, yeah.
That's my home.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you know anything about Fran, it was always about being better than Sam.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning of the
yeah.
beginning. It's like Sam never won a sectional championship, so I'm going to win a sectional championship.
Yeah.
And it's like
Points
20
per
to 21.
season. Yeah. It was just, it's a good thing. I think, I don't know. Parenting nowadays is crazy, but there's a lot of differences with things. But
Yeah.
I think like that competitive drive, like you can't teach that.
No.
But I think in our dynamic, like even just like who gets up the stairs first, like things like that. And like I was 6 years younger, so if I can keep up with her a little bit when we're running stairs, or I can keep up with her like whatever, and I'm 6 years younger, think about what's gonna happen then when I played kids my age, or I trained against kids my age, or whatever. So I think it's only a good thing. And obviously it gave me a lot of motivation too, because we played the same position, same sports, and like similar styles, but also like very different, where like I learned a lot from her watching, because I was dragged to every game.
Yeah.
And then I learned like I wanted to go to every game, because I really did enjoy it. And I give my lacrosse IQ to that. Just being at so many games and watching and being able to take the things she did good, but then also add the things that I do good, and then have more of like, you know, a well-rounded lacrosse player. So I think my lacrosse IQ definitely comes from that.
Has it shifted now from Franny wants to be better than Sam to now Fran wants to be better than Fran yesterday?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think being better than Sam went away in my like 9th grade year. I broke those records early.
The sectional championship, where I told her, do you remember the first thing I said to you when you came over to Derek and I? That game?
No, I was blacked out.
So I had my sunglasses on, and I said, it just came out of my mouth. I went, "You made me cry."
Oh yeah.
Twice.
Everybody, yeah.
And I said twice because I looked over at Derek, and he was crying.
Oh, bawling.
And he's like turned this way, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry. And I was watching you, and I started to cry. You came over.
Yeah.
And when you were walking over,
because I had to do the interview, and I was like, I want to hug my dad. Like,
right. And I remember going like,
let me go.
I remember going like, so they're gonna do. I was like, you know what? Let them do the interview. Let them ask their stupid questions, and then I'll talk to her.
And of course, it's like, well, how do you feel?
Yeah, how do you feel, Fran? Is it nice to win? And
I'm like, wait, I just want to go hug my dad. Let me go.
And I remember when
my dad's sitting on the fence, and he's just like,
he was waiting.
Yeah.
And so he's there, and so when you were on the field, he's here, and I'm to his left.
Yeah.
and I still remember there was like the yellow thing that you could like lean on the
Yeah,
fence.
yeah.
So I'm looking at you, and it didn't hit me.
Yeah.
And when you started to walk toward us, you were talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And it went down my chest.
Yeah.
Like it went into my stomach, and then I just started. I started crying.
Yeah.
And then I came
I
over
cried.
because you ran over to your dad, and when you ran over to him, like I took all those pictures.
Yeah.
And I still remember because they're on my phone and they're like live. That if you click on the picture, you you see each like you grab each other at the same time, and you just
Both,
see
like,
like this
bawling, yes.
yeah, and your hair is moving,
Yeah.
and you guys were just in the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. Yeah.
That's got to be. Is that the best moment so far?
Honestly, I think so. I think it was just we came so I don't think anybody's ever gonna like high school is high school, but I talk about this with Molly literally anytime I like run into her, but I don't think people understood like what went on behind the scenes like with that.
You went from 1-14, right? To
1-15, yeah.
To a championship.
Yeah, 1-15 to COVID to a championship. And it's just I don't know. Again, people just don't realize the work that we did behind the scenes, like individually, but like as a team. Like taking a group of girls that weren't friends, had a lot of divisions, and being like, no, like we're winning this, and everybody looking at you like you have 3 heads, and you're like, y'all can doubt us, but like we are winning. Like this is, and everyone was like, no, and then we started winning, and they're like, how are they good? Like how, like the last time they were the worst in the league, like how? And
you realize you won a championship in 2021.
Yes.
So 21-1 on 21.
Yeah.
And you scored the 2 goals that forced overtime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you scored it was like 2 goals in 13 seconds or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then that play at the end.
Yeah.
Where you like and you were you're like just go into that play. And for those that didn't see it live, like please just describe like because I go back and it's like in, come out, the pass, the shot, and then I looked at your dad and I was like, because we were sitting far, like we were sitting looking like this. I'm like, wait, I was like, did it go in? And then like your grandfather, I was the whole time. So in overtime, I put my hands on Ralph's shoulders, and I was like, I hope I can't take them off now. Like I have to like just stay here. And then I looked at your dad. I go, wait, is it over? Because it was so quick. Yeah. But please like describe it.
It's crazy, and again, things like behind the scenes, and like there's always gonna be crazy lacrosse parents, and like it there just are, and even like on our own team, like, but that play was like the epitome of just like who we were as a group. Like the game was on the line. Everybody thought that either me or Molly was getting the ball, which smart tactic, I guess. And like me and Molly each had like a face guard on us, and then like a player like hedging to even help. Like, okay, if they still get the ball, like, so we both took up like a lot of the defense. And then Brooke, who's like assisting, like if you ask parents and whatever, like assisting was not like a strong part of her game. She was a strong midi and like a shooter and a great off the cut, and like she got the ball and like me and Molly took ourselves out of the play because we had like 1 to 2 defenders on each of us. Yeah. So we unselfishly took ourselves out of the play. Brooke got the ball, came around the cage, and assisted. Everyone thought she was going to shoot because she doesn't assist. And then Kenzie was wide open because all the defenders shifted to me and Molly. And it was just like everybody did their part. And like she finished and shot in the right place and like wasn't scared to take that shot. Like it's just everybody did in that last moment. Like it wasn't our bread and butter. Everybody did something that made them like a little bit uncomfortable and was like, I guess like the weaker part of their game, or just what you wouldn't expect.
You played like a team.
Yeah, and it was just like, that moment was just like it just shut like everybody.
She was right in front of the net too.
She was wide open. They left her so wide open. They were like, even if she gets the ball, I'm not like she was wide open.
Like the pass comes in and then she was just like, and I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
It's over?
And everyone, like, me and my other two were like, we were like, did that just happen? Oh my God. It was crazy. Nuts. And we were we all, like, jumped on each other and we're in a huge pile. And we were, like, still, like, oh my God, it just happened. So I hope that we get more feelings like that and can have fun like that. And, you know, I think there's two different types of athletes. I mean, like, pressure can crumble them, or, you know, when pressure happens, you want to run into it and run into the fire. And it's just like, those are the moments that, like, are high risk but high reward. So I can't wait to have, hopefully, a bunch of those moments at Moyne, like, with the same girls that have that same mentality. So that'll be a lot of fun.
What did being on a team where there weren't friends, there was a lot of division, and you all came together, what did that teach you about team culture and how important that is? Like, as you step into Moyne, what did you learn from taking this group of division to put it all together? Like, what can you take in your toolbox from that moment of a team that was so apart and came together and won a championship? What did you take from that you can bring to Moyne?
I'd say maybe my biggest weakness as a captain at CNS was maybe that I didn't lead everybody. Like, I've led everybody the same, which was also good, because I'm like, this is the standard, like, get on the bus or get under it. Like, but we had short time, and it was like, we had to do it that year and that year only, and we didn't have time to build, and it was get on the bus or get under it. But I have learned over the last couple of years that some people just don't take to that. And learning to, and I think this is the, like, going into mental health counseling and going into the psychology part of things, and just understanding, like, that some players are already hard on themselves, or some players just don't need that. Like, some players get super anxious before games, and just, like, they need to laugh. Like, they need to dance. You need to, like, dance on, like, in the locker room or whatever. Like, everybody has something different that they need. So I think the biggest thing I'm going to try to do is, obviously, like, I know a lot of the girls, but, like, get to know them each individually a little bit more, so I know how to, like, support them as, like, one of the older girls on the team. And, like, especially we have a huge younger class coming in, so, like, those are freshmen. They're in college for the first time. So just being able to support them so they have the resources to be themselves, and, like, be like, okay, like, this isn't my day, and be like, okay, like, then let's just focus on making you laugh today, and, like, you know, we'll get after it tomorrow, or whatever that is. But also, you know, of course, I want to push my teammates and get them to a point that they don't think they can get. And same thing with me. Like, I think that's awesome with just knowing them as long as we have, because I feel like if I missed a couple shots in a row, like, them being like, hello, you're gonna like, it's nice to have that. And, like, I think at college too, I don't think people take it as personal as high school. So I think that's awesome too.
I could see
that layer's not there.
I could see you, like, miss a couple shots, and then Sarah takes her jersey off and go, do you need to wear it to make the shots? Like, do you need 21? Is that the whole thing? I could see that.
Yeah, it was funny in summer league last night. She was like, it was a close game, and I was like, all right, guys, like, yeah, it's fun, but, like, we got 2 minutes left, like, let's go.
Yeah, let's win.
And Sarah's like, like, laughing. I'm like, Sarah, let's go. So it's just, it's funny. But I think, too, like, the biggest thing that, like, they're doing for me is, like, I'll hold on to the little things, or I'll hold, like, being able to let things go and learning from them that, like, okay, like, if I have a bad play, like, it's not the end of the world, where in my head, like, sometimes it can get to that point. So being able to just look at Sarah and her being like, oh, you know, like, whatever, and, like, I can laugh it off also. Like, it keeps the vibes up and the energy up, and that's something that just, like, is different person to person. That's why what makes teams so great is it's a bunch of different people. Everybody doesn't need to be the same. So I think that's awesome.
So, life in the transfer portal, physically just experiencing that for yourself. And like I said, in my world of, you know, having the entertainment show with Superpowered Pop and having the Disney show, I want to envision what the portal looks like. You're not physically in anything, but how...
I wish it was way cooler.
I know. I'm like,
than it was. It's not that good.
So this is what I picture. So
the only good part is you're like, oh my God, I'm free.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I actually picture is I look at, and I'm going to bring this up. So I just went and did Universal's Epic Universe. Yeah. And
I wish it was like this, like, you know.
And they have portals, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going through this thing, and let me bring up the video here. So I said I want it to be like this, and I'm going to try and find a picture of the video. So I actually want it to look like that.
Oh my god, I wish it was too.
Like, this is me going through the portal of the dark universe. And so, like, to me, like, I thought to myself, because these are actual portals that you're going through, I said, ladies and gentlemen, like, this is the transfer portal. Like, you walk under a thing and you see these colors and there's like numbers and matrix stuff moving over your head, and you can hear this like sound and no. But how would you describe it?
If I had to describe it, I think it's like a little, like we talked about earlier with the teddy bear and letting go, and I think it's easy to think that you have no other options. And especially in college, it's so easy to get into that mindset. Yeah. Especially when you're in like a negative environment, or if the dynamic's just not for you, and like it's so easy to slip into that, especially when it's like a group of people all going through the same things. Yeah. And not in a positive environment, that I don't know, I feel like when I went into the transfer portal, it's like or even when I communicated that I was leaving, I like, it just felt like I had bricks on my back, and I just like let it go, and I was like, oh my god, like this is like what it feels like to like breathe, like literally breathe again. And I'm not like an anxious person or like whatever, but I was like, oh my god, like I'm free, and I can start over, like this is a fresh start. So I feel like the transfer portal is like a mixture of that, like letting go of the baggage that you've been carrying for so long or suppressing, and then also like being in a room full of like mirrors and being like, oh my god, like it's about me and I get to do this again. Like I get a new opportunity, and it's like, okay, like what do I want? I don't know, what do I want? Like anybody that goes in the floor or the portal, it's like, okay, like I was close to home. Now I want to go to Florida. Like, I only want to go to a school in Florida. Like, you get to be so picky, and you're also, like, an adult where you have the confidence to do that. You're not a 17-year-old kid talking to a college coach, and it's like, like, no, like, okay, like, I don't like this in a school. Like, it's okay to say that. I feel like no kid in high school.
He wanted you to go to be a Gator. Originally.
He was like, Florida would be nice, but then like I said, like, that priority list. Like,
what's important, right?
Yeah, it's like my dad works a lot, like, and I want the girls that I train and my dad to be able to, in between his work schedule, to come up and watch a game. Yeah. Like, if I went to Florida, any school in Florida, like, he would only be able to come to a couple games of the year, and it's like, do I want to take off my cleats and, like, you know, have him not be there a lot? And it's like, no, that wasn't that was like low on the priority list for me. I mean, I have my whole life to go to Florida and soak up the sun and whatever, but right now, home and supporting my family and
well, we talked about our plan, like you and Derek and I, like, the portal is that's the plan. Yeah. Because when I texted y'all, he said he was like, Florida first, then Italy. And I was like, well, we've been talking about Florida for a while. Like, we need to go.
Yeah, I know. We
need to go because
but that's the thing. It's
we'll
like,
enjoy the rides.
Yeah. And it's
Will
also,
he do them?
I don't even know if I can. I'm old.
Yeah, Franny, you could do the rides. There's no way that I'm doing like this. This would be my thing with Fran. I'd be like, Fran, he'd be like, does it go upside down? Yeah, Fran, it goes upside down.
He does rides though.
But I feel like I could get you pretty easily. Yeah. I'd be like, you'd be like, I don't know if I want. I'd be like, just come on. And you'd be like, all right.
The problem with me and my dad when we're both on vacation, we're beach bums. Like, we just sit on the beach.
I don't think you would want to wait in line.
No, I'm not. See, there's the patience.
When they told me Harry Potter at 11:30, they go, it's a 6.5 hour wait. I went like this. I went, y'all have a good day. I'll come back later. And nobody told me there was a single rider line, so I went in that line 2.5 hours instead of 6.5 hours, which I didn't like that either. Yeah. But it's you know. But then the other single rider for the Dark Universe to go on that ride literally went on 20 minutes, came off, and then came back and did it again. Yeah. And I was just like, run. Yep. And that's what people don't understand. I'm like, they're like, you go to parks by yourself, you eat by yourself, you go to the movies. I go, yeah, because sometimes being by yourself means being in good company.
That's very true.
And a lot of people settle in friendships, romantic relationships and stuff because they don't want to be alone.
Yeah. I think understanding, that's another thing I learned over the last couple of years, is like understanding your social battery. Yeah. And like, it's okay that like your social, like if you were this happens a lot with like teams or even like coworkers. Like if you work with somebody all day and then you're with them all day and you're living with them all day, like that's a lot of time. Like think about like, so it's like understanding your social battery. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
well,
yeah,
just
like,
kinda,
I need to just be alone right now, or I need to stay in, just
and
be with
I've
my dogs who can't talk back.
Right.
Like,
And I looked at it, I'm like, I've traveled more alone than I've traveled with somebody. And I've probably been to Disney like over 100 times by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm saying over the years, I'm like, I'm so used to it. And then when I went to Epic Universe, it was exactly 2 weeks that it had opened. And so I went, June 5th, and I'm on this, and I'm looking at the rides, and I'm seeing here, and all these rides, 2 weeks in, everyone wants to go on the rides, like everything's busy for the most part. And I'm going here, single rider. And I said in that moment, if I hadn't realized it before, I said, this is the benefit of like having the courage to do things alone and being by yourself and being comfortable in your own skin, that I experienced those parks so much easier than other people because I was by myself. Yeah. And so I was like, you guys, oh my God, you don't single rider. And what about everybody with their girlfriends and this and that? I go, I went on Mario twice. And I was like, that's how I look at it. Like I got to ride Mario 2 times, but there's something to be said about what you and I have learned in that you have to be able to do things on your own and you have to believe that you can. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people in this world are waiting for somebody to come with them, waiting for someone to save them, where I think you really learn how to live probably in the healthiest way when you have support, you have love, you have people with you, but you don't need them to be there all the time.
Yeah. And I think too, like as somebody who's been an athlete like forever, you learn to suppress things and you learn to not like use the support that you have. So I think there's a fine line between like both. Like I think when you're going through a hard time, like understanding how to use the support and the people around you and telling them like, hey, like I need you to step up, whatever. But then also not depending on that forever, because there's people that are like also when you're being supported by the people that you love, also getting better individually, so you are better individually in the long run. So I think there's a mixture of that, and like, to understand the boundaries with that is huge and very beneficial. But I think that's a hard thing for athletes to learn, because it's like, wait, it's not just me against everybody. Like I can I can depend on
other people.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I just celebrated 21 years broadcasting. Yeah. And we had a party and we went out to the Wildcat, and I looked at this room and there was a bunch of people that couldn't make it that sent video messages or sent text or whatever. And then there's all these people that did make it. And I stood up on stage. My dad spoke, Amani spoke, and Isaac spoke, Rob spoke, and my mom. And and Danny, the owner of the Wildcat. So when I got up at the end, I was walking around, and you know me, like I don't write down a speech. I would just speak from my heart. Right. So I was looking at everybody, and I was looking at the history. I've known this person for 20 years. I've known this person my whole life. I've known this person for 5 years. And something inside of me just hit in that moment, going off of what you said. I said, I honestly thought that this entire time it was God and I against the world. And I'm looking at all of you right now, realizing like he was building an army the whole time around me. Yeah. And so I feel like to that point, you and I are used to taking on the world because we have the courage to do that, and we believe in that, and we're very strong in our values. Yeah. And at the same time, like, it's remembering that when you do look to the stands, there's always going to be somebody there. Oh, like we have that support, which we're blessed to have, and I hope everyone has that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing to understand, is like, I feel like a lot of times you can feel very alone at times, 100%. But it's like, and you're like, oh yeah, well, like I have this person, like, no, like you have that person, use it. Like,
yeah, like you can call someone at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Like so I think a lot of times it's right in front of your face too. It just takes some time to realize.
Are you prepared for your dad to show Moyne who he is in the stands?
I'm so excited. I think that
I always sit with him, and then there's moments where I'm like, do I need to give you a minute? Like, do I need to sit over here just for a minute to let you? Because he'll look at me, he'll be like, Danny, you got to understand when you come to the game with me, like
we're not talking.
Like, I'm a different type. Like, we will discuss, but
Yeah.
I've already experienced games with him.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people get, like, that don't know him or, like, have played against me and, like, whatever. I think a lot of times they think that he is just, like, a yeller. He's yelling at me and only me. Like, he is not, like, no, everyone else is safe. Like, it's fully, it's just me.
I feel like parents are going to be like, why is he so mean to Lemoyne wearing a Lemoyne shirt? I'm like, he's talking to Fran.
like, you know.
We're both here because he's tough love to Fran. And I'm like, I love you, sis. And then maybe I'll talk to her after the game about stuff, but I'm not gonna be like, yo, Fran, get it together.
And he's just like, it's awesome though, like, the girls on my team, no matter what team I've ever played against, like, they see my dad and they're like, oh, he's scary and, like, whatever. And then, like, they end up, like, he's their favorite person by the end of the day.
He's a teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear. And, like, when you're not, you know, when he's not picking apart your game and everything that you're doing wrong, you can enjoy it. He's cheering for you. But he like, we're at the point now. It's not like when I was younger where we were going play by play, like, breaking down, like, the positive negatives. Like, I just know, like, if there's a period where, not even that I made a mistake or just it's, like, a drought in the game or whatever, like, I know exactly what he's gonna say, or if I look up, I know he's gonna go like this. Like, it just, it's stuff like that, but it also, it gets me going, too. Is like, you know, there's been times, too, where, like, whatever, shots aren't falling, or I hit the pipe a couple times and he screams, keep shooting, like, your moves are there, like, you're doing good. Like, it's that reassurance too of, like, okay, like, I am being a little bit hard on myself, like, you know, shoot out of it, or there's just unlucky shots, or, you know, even just, like, the mental reset too. Like, he always says, like, if you have a bad, like, quarter, you have a bad play, don't let it go into the next one. So, like, there's been times I've had a bad half and he's like, we got a whole new second half. Just, like, that reminder of, like, okay, let it go. You know what just happened.
He's not always saying, come on, Francis.
Yeah.
So, when I hear Francis, I'm like, okay, he's gonna dig a little bit now.
So, like, yeah, like, Wolf is, like, when I'm playing really good and he's feeling it and I'm feeling it. And when I hear Francis, it's like, it's like I feel like I'm back, like I was, like, 4 years old and, like, I did something I wasn't supposed to, and he's like, come on, Francis. Well, like, I'm playing really bad.
The last time I saw Francis was when I was at Universal Epic Universe, and I was texting you guys in the group chat, and he was like, Danny, you put up this story, but I can't share it. And I had already shared it on his page because, like, I tagged him and did all that stuff. So actually, if you go and see it, it's shared twice, like, one under the... And then he would just send me a message and be like, you know where you went to high school. You know where I went to high school. And then you wrote, he's a little slow at technology. And then the message came in, okay, Francis. That's when Francis came to.
And it's also, like, it was, like, the biggest thing of my team at home. Because, like, obviously everyone follows him on Facebook. And, like, Facebook's his, like, Super Bowl. Like, he's got fans. I don't know. It's wild. And he, like, they'll be like, oh, like, hashtag, like, they'll name all his hashtags and, like, his emojis, but, like, he'll be like, can I post this? And I'll look, and I'm like, dude, the grammar and the spelling and, like, why is there a capital in the middle of the word? And, like, you can tell when I'm home and I go in and I just, like, fix what he's, like, trying to say versus, like...
You're his spell check.
Oh my god, it's just wild. It's
but I like when I get the message because I feel like he's just talking to it. Yeah. But then I'm like, if he's...
Like, my graduation had 18 posts instead of just them all being...
together. But my thing is, like, but he's proud. And my thing is, like, when I'm reading through the message, I'm like, well, it looks like he voice texted this.
Always. He does not, because he...
But there's emojis in there. Yeah. How does he get them in there?
So he'll voice...
He's like, what's up, cuz? Smiley face emoji. Like, what is it? How is he do? Tell me. Just bring me into Derek talking to the phone because I get what I get and I love it.
He's shot. So you'll look, I'll be like, are you talking to me? And he's either talking to himself or he's, like, doing voice texting. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he'll be like, I'll be at the gym at 12:40. Like, but he doesn't say, like, I'll be at the gym, comma. Da, da, da. So it's one long sentence, and he...
Like this one right here.
Oh, but he'll do the ... Like,
he will do the ...
stop it, and then he puts in the emojis.
So then he puts them in at the end.
But I just recently showed him how to send a voice memo, like a recording, on here, and I think that might be his new thing. So that way you can just play it.
The voice memo.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but like so there's this one.
Oh God.
This is one.
No, I don't think there's the only punctuation on this text is the ... in between his like.
There are a ... There's a ... That's how you know that. Yeah, it's just different. See, here's the thing though. You joke with him and you mess with him. I joke with him and I feel like he's gonna be like, I saw your text. I saw the show, Dan, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I love you. I said, listen, this is what I would always. This is my thing to Derek. Okay, you're a strong person. I'm a strong person. You could look at me this way that you're looking at me, or we can make one giant strong person together. Like, just put me on your shoulders, let me dunk the ball. That's how I look at it. But it is funny how when people see Derek, they think like, here is this like massive, scary dude, but he has the biggest. He's probably gonna cry when he says this. I'm gonna try not to do it.
Especially when it comes to like lacrosse and kids and.
But he has the biggest heart.
Yeah.
And when we talk about who you were named after, when we talk about my great aunt Fran, his grandma Meatballs, like those conversations, and then conversations about like you and Sam, like there's such. And I told, like, when I went through my divorce, like, literally, I told her, like, you can do whatever you want to do, but you're not living here. When she left, the first person besides my parents to come to my house, your dad, he was talking to me, he was on his motorcycle, and he was like, and we were just talking, and all of a sudden, we're, like, back and forth for, like, an hour, and then he goes, where are you right now? I said, my house. He's like, I'll be there. And then all of a sudden, there's a motorcycle in my driveway, and he was sitting on my couch with his hand on my back, talking to me. Yeah. And like, he's loyal. And I know that you and I, we're talking about family and how, we've become, like, we're cousins by blood, but we've become brother and sister. Yeah. And he has become such a big part of my life. But like, when you ask me about moments when we've been at Lacrosse together, my favorite moments have been in the car, like just crying together or talking about stuff. Like those have been my favorite moments with him, is when he's like, if you need me, I got you. Yeah. And I feel like that in your life and like that in my life, there's so much to the man behind the music, so to speak.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. He's just, like, I know we laugh a lot and like we joke a lot, but at the end of the day, like he's such a strong person, and he's who I got my fight from, and he's who I got, like, I like to say a lot of like my best characteristics are his best, like his loyalty and his compassion for others, and like always understanding where people come from, and like everyone's situations aren't the same, and just like always having the mentality of just like, you know what, everyone has shit, like everyone has stuff to deal with, everybody has their demons, everybody whatever, but like you can still do it, and okay, what are you gonna do about it? Like it's that mentality that is something that I completely give to him, and he deserves his flowers on that. And he's awesome. He's also hilarious on top of everything, even when he's trying not to be. But like you said, like I was named after his grandma, but the modern name Francesca, and like I don't think I've never ever heard him say Francesca once. Yeah, and I've never heard, like, and people are like, what, like that's your name? And I was like, no, he calls me Francis because that was her name. And like it's just it's a good feeling that he sees some parts of her and me, and makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And it's an awesome feeling. And that's why that was a huge part about picking Moyne too, is like I'm not the lacrosse player or the person I am without him, and like I want him to be able to be at every game, and I want to look in the stands and have that feeling that I had in high school. And it's just, I'm excited for it, and I think it'll be good. I think we've weathered the storm the last couple years and have been there for each other and supported each other, and like I depended on him, he depended on me, and it was just like, it was survival. And it's like, now we get to enjoy it. Like now we have things figured out, like there's less pressure, and it's just like, wow, like we get to go out and like we get to train this summer and do what we always did, and like what made us have fun every day. And
you don't have to say goodbye in the summer.
No.
Like, it's like, see you tomorrow. You're coming to the house. Like, you're gonna eat dinner here. So, and I will say what's really cool about the connection that we have, and the connection that I have to Derek too, is that Aunt Fran, who is like his mentor and like his light, she was, besides me, she was the only person that could get my grandmother out of the house. My Gammy. And so my dad's mom that I call Gammy, and so I would go to get her out, and then like I would be in the house sometimes, and there'd be a knock on the door, and I'd go to the door, and you see this woman, always perfect hair. They all have perfect hair, and she's just at the door, and I open the door, and here's Aunt Fran with this like animal skin, like this beautiful fur coat, and she walks in and she goes, "Mare, go get dressed. We're going to the movies." And my grandma goes, "I don't want to." And she would go into my grandmother's room. She's like, "What do you need?" "Well, I got to do my makeup." She would take the thing out, set it, be like, "Here, go." Like she would wait at the table. Like she would get my grandmother out of the house, and I will never forget that, because they go out to the movies, they go to dinner. She took my grandmother out one time. My grandmother comes back. They went to see Saving Private Ryan, which I still haven't seen. And my grandmother comes in the door with Aunt Fran. They're talking about the movie. And my grandma looks at me. She goes, "Promise me that you will never see that movie." And I was like, "Why?" She goes, "The first 10 minutes, just like there was like bones just flying everywhere, just like blood everywhere." She looked at me. She's like, "Promise me." And Gammy up in heaven, I still haven't seen it. Because I was like, "All right, Grandma." But I remember opening that door, and here's Aunt Fran. And she, "Hello, Daniel." And she'd just walk in, and she'd be like, "Mare, are you ready?" And she would get, and literally of all the family members, all the people, Aunt Fran was the only human being that consistently came to my grandmother's house, and she always got her out.
Yeah.
I think she said no to Fran like one time, and then like I think when she left, I was like, "Oh, like is she gonna like never come back here again? Is she gonna kill you? Like why?" Because like that was their thing. It was the two of them. They would just go do stuff.
Yeah. I think it's just like obviously we have a big family, but it's just you can tell the ones that like really have taken the characteristics from like the grandparents and kept that alive, and hopefully we can bring that back a little bit. But you know, I think it's easy to say that you're a loyal person, and I think I obviously I learned a lot from him, but like it's easy to say you're a loyal person, and it's easy to say that you're always there for the people around you, and like that's an easy thing to say, but actually doing it is just different, where I feel like that's what me and him are just so locked in on. And I think that they don't make a lot of people like that anymore.
Well, and loyal people don't have to say they're loyal, they just show it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Like,
and also being able to, like, we talk about it, like being able to laugh at yourself. And
100%.
like everyone has, like, I don't know, the people that pretend that they're perfect, like something that I've always loved about him, and I've done the same way, is like, okay, these are my cards. I'm not going to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. Like, here's my cards. Here is who I am. I'm unapologetically me, and like, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And if you leave it, okay, cool. Like, I still respect, that's fine. But like, just to kind of have the balls to do that is just something that you, like I said, even like Snooki, you got to respect it to a point. Like,
there's things you can change, there's things you can't. God made me 5'8". And I can't tell you how many women that are like, "I like 6 feet and taller." And I was like, well, good luck finding Andre the Giant. And when he cheats on you, let me know how it goes. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't get taller. So like, I feel when you are who you are. And I think the interesting thing for us is that I saw you when you were like a baby. And then I did, like, you, like a little white dress on, and then like
with all the ants, the outfits that the ants would get. I see these pictures, I'm like, guys, I think Italian ants should be banned from buying like children clothes, because I see some of these dresses.
Don't touch my face. I don't know why Italian, like, if you, okay, I don't
like being touched either.
I don't know what it is about being Italian, but if you grab my cheeks or if you slap my face, I want to, like, and I mean this with love because you know that this is a family show, Fran.
Karate chop.
If someone slaps me in the face, I want to bury you.
No.
I want to murder you. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, we would rather as Italians be punched in the face than slapped. Like, if you get, hey Danny, like that, like I don't even like that I did that. So I want to kill myself right now. But I've had a friend do that to me.
Yeah.
In college, and we were eating dinner at Mike, and I looked at him and I go, I gotta hit you back. And he was like, you don't get it. I was like, bro, I'm not kidding. And he kept blocking it, and I went up to him and I smacked him so hard that he didn't know what to do. He looked at me and just started laughing. But like, I don't know what it is about Italian, like the ants grabbing your cheeks. If you slap my face or you grab my cheeks, with all due respect to you, my Italian heritage wants to bury you or send you to Guantanamo Bay. Yeah. But like, you feel that way, right? Yes. Like, you don't want, like, I've dated women that like they could be like laying with me on the couch and they'd be like, you don't like it? You don't like, and everything inside of me is like, don't rip your pants and become bigger. Don't turn green. Because like, I don't put hands on a woman, but a woman, like, they would slap my face and they would go, what are you going to do, Dan? What are you going to do? And you have no idea, like, the feeling. But is that being Italian that we don't want to be touched in the face?
Maybe. I mean,
I can't stand it.
I think the biggest...
You can rub my face, just don't...
Me and Soph do this thing with my dad when we go to the gym, and if he's having, like, a little prima donna moment, and he's just being a little crabby pants, like...
Don't tell me you touch his face.
No, we tickle him.
Okay.
It's so funny. We'll just, like, jumper cable, like, the sides, or, like, start tickling him, and he'll be like, stop it! Like, you just see this, like, big, scary man, like, walk into the gym with, like, these two girls, and we're like... It, like, resets him, and I'm like...
He's twitching.
He's
got that little twitch.
If only the people that knew that you got in fights with, that your kryptonite was all that had to do was tickle you.
So I don't have a lot of tickle spots, but I have one that, like, I will bend my body if I hit there.
Yeah.
And like, I don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't. Because I
well, now once
I found out that my dad was
now that I know your game, but like I don't. But my thing is like, so, and women would try to guess. Yeah. They'd be like, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? And they go to like normal spots, and it's not. But there's like one part of my body that's always open. Yeah. That I'm like, if you hit that spot, I will immediately just like
karate chop.
Yeah. And it's that feeling of like, and it, like you. But that's why when you did it, when I'd be like, stop! Like, don't! What are you doing? Yeah. And I don't want anybody to ever know it. But Derek, I know yours now, so that's good. Do it and run. But we are going to take one final step aside. When we come back, we will play rapid fire brother-sister version.
Yes.
I do want to ask you one thing before you take a step aside, though. I know you came home for, you want, like you said, I want my dad in the stands. You want to be in front of him. Mm-hmm. You have the opportunity at Moyne to continue getting a master's now. Mm-hmm. Liz Bevel, what is it about her leadership and the way that she tackles the game that spoke to you?
So I love this question. So I think that there's a couple of things. Obviously, going through the recruiting process the second time, you learn to read the BS very well. And she was just so transparent with me, and I think that like it was just so genuine, which was. That just, like, was a huge step in the right direction and just, like, building a relationship with her. And then also, like, Summer League last year, she still plays in it. And, like, she's, like, competitive, too. Like, and it's just, like, I don't know, you can see that she loves the game and that she loves her girls. And, like, when she was telling me about her team dynamic, she's, like, individually talking about the players and, like, the differences with players and, like, the fun dynamics. And it's just, like, I don't know, those checked, like, a lot of boxes for me. It was awesome. So, well,
shout out to Liz Bevel and the team and the upcoming season. We will take a step aside with one of Lemoyne's newest faces, but a face we all know here in Central New York. Tortora-squared Dolphin Dive back with rapid fire from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. You will find them open for you Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and it's a place where you could be a big kid. no matter how old you are, you can enjoy being close to your favorite players, your favorite teams, as well as those games that you love to play and your favorite characters within those games with hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, as well as Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon while supplies last. You will find everything in one place at GG Cards and Breaks, everything to protect your cards, as well as to showcase them and be able to travel with them, is at the place where you can always be a kid. GG Cards and Breaks. We'll see you there on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, my little sister Fran here with us for this edition. We're going to bring you in a little bit closer, Miss Fran. And I have something in my studio that you did for me a while ago, and I don't know if you saw it. Have you seen it?
Oh my god.
So, way back here.
Oh my god, my signature. Lord.
So, this is Fran, 21, wearing her number here, her autograph, and then put Wolf 21 on here. And this is, so everything in my studio has a reason and a purpose. So this sits behind me.
That I need to work on my signature.
It's like, this is Fran in kindergarten, this is Fran. But, so, no, this, I think the pen wasn't working. It was starting to go out. But this is actually on display in my studio every show.
Oh my god, yeah. Aww.
So what do you,
awesome.
so describe, what would you change?
Change on here?
So you don't like your signature right
Yeah,
now?
I need to get it better. I do a better one now.
Okay.
But yeah, we need to update.
We're going to update it.
That's so funny with the blue tape.
Yeah. But yeah, Franny in the studio here, your picture is always right over my shoulder. So in our
that's awesome.
Yeah, right next to a lot of other pieces here. But yeah, you sit right there every time that we are here in the studio. And yeah, so we'll have to get a Lemoyne one now.
Yes.
So with that being said, we're going to play rapid fire.
Okay.
You get to start. You can ask me a question.
All right. If there was one person that you could have dinner with, dead or alive, or spend the whole day with, who would it be and why?
Good question. I would have to say, all my grandparents. I don't think I can pick one. So in the past, when Gammy and G-Mama were here on Earth, I'd say my grandpas. But I would say to have dinner with all of them again. It's just something about, it's like I could smell the chocolate cake. I can, see the meatballs and the chicken soup. And my grandfathers both passing away when I was 6 really just made me older when I was little. Yeah. And I've said this before, and like people might think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm like, if God said, I will give you like a second on earth with your grandparents, with your grandfathers again, what would you do for me? I would literally cut my arms off. Yeah. Just to hug them, just like be with them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say the easy answer without doubt is to be with my grandparents. Oh. And I'll tell people this, and I tell a lot of people this in person. If you have grandparents, call them, see them. See them first, call them second. If they text them third. But please go and see them. And as I told a young student athlete at West Jenny when we were at the Wildcat, she was leaving, her parents were there, and I said, "Are these your grandparents?" And they said, "Yeah, that's our granddaughter." I said, "I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me on this, like, clearly." I said, "Go and visit them. Spend time with them. Hug them and kiss them. When you leave, run back in, hug them and kiss them again, because you will never regret how many times you do it." Yeah. My G-Mama, who you know, is like the best person I've ever met. I would like give her a hug and a kiss, and then I'd go out and I'd run back in and do it again, and I'd do it again, and I'd give her another kiss. She's like, "Leave already!" And so, but I was like, I never regret those moments.
Yeah, no.
So I would say my grandparents. Franny, if you took over my show tomorrow morning, and it was Wake Up Call with Fran Tortora, What 3 guests would you have on and why?
Oh my god, that's awesome question.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Tomorrow morning they pop in and you're like, "Hey, guess what?"
Hey now.
and then you gotta, and then there'll be I'll FaceTime you live, and I'll be on a beach down in Florida. I'll be like, "Hey, take it the rest of the couple days here."
It'd be so
Let me
like
hang out.
it can be anyone.
Anybody.
Okay, I'm gonna say Soph, number 1. She's like my little sister, and we just like it's so funny. I could only imagine what we could do if we had a little podcast together. And
So tell everybody her full name.
Yeah, so Soph Neshi, well, Sophia Neshi.
Yeah.
And she actually just wrapped up her season at CNS, her senior year. She's going to Liberty. She's absolutely amazing. She broke my record. Whatever. And
Congrats, Soph.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have so much fun, and so I think that would definitely be guest 1, because that'd be a good warm up for me too, because just like, you know. And I'd say, I'm trying to think of, I do like watch a lot of, or listen to a lot of podcasts too. Well, I was going to say the one we talked about yesterday, but I don't know about that anymore. Not that one. Let's go.
What were you gonna say? Say it in my ear. Oh.
I would say Dream. That was awesome, but never mind.
Not anymore. Yeah.
I kind of want
So many people are gonna listen back to this show and they're gonna try and see if they can hear what we said. They're gonna like boost the audio.
Yeah.
By the way, my Coke, when it says share a Coke with, mine yesterday, or I saw, and I didn't even realize mine was like that name. It was share a Coke with, and I looked at it, I kind of laughed.
No?
I kind of laughed last night, and I was like, trash. I was like, yeah.
I'd say, okay, let's go like a comedian too, because I feel like it'll be good to have some laughter. So let's go Sebastian Maniscalco.
Love him.
Love him. Saw him in Madison Square Garden. So funny.
He came here.
Yeah.
Brought my dad for his birthday gift.
So
my
funny.
mom was like, I don't like him. I was like, Ma, you don't even know him. She started watching him recently. She's like, I love this guy. I'm like, yeah, Ma, I know. Like, why? She's like, he didn't come to Syracuse. I said, yeah, I brought Dad in November.
Yeah.
She loves him now.
Yeah.
Because he talks about real. By the way, folks, if you think he's embellished, his voice when he talks like that might be a little embellishing, but he's not lying to you when he tells you about Italian things.
Yeah.
About family.
No, not
at all.
And then I'd say I'd probably do somebody in athletics.
Okay.
So let's think. I think I want to do basketball.
Okay.
Let's go Caitlin Clark. She's killing it. And I think she's just such
right over here.
She's such a humble person. And like, you know, I think she's just a good representation for student athletes.
For women in women's sports.
So I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I love that lineup.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your question for me?
If there was one place you haven't traveled yet that you want to travel, and then 2-part, what's one place that you traveled to and would never go back to again?
First one, Spain, because I've been to Italy and I want to go to see my family in Spain.
Makes sense.
Place that I would never go back to that I traveled to by accident, kind of. I reluctantly and then also kind of by accident. Newark, New Jersey. Never again.
I know some people from New York.
I was harassed by a cop in Newark, New Jersey. I got lost in Newark, New Jersey.
That's so funny.
So that's probably a place that I wouldn't go back to.
Yeah.
Just because,
Okay,
what
that's
reason
fair.
would I have to?
Yeah.
Not that I don't like New Jersey.
Yeah.
Just
that specific spot.
And if people go back and check the tape, I have been on record saying that if I was president of the United States, I would get a giant saw and I would cut Newark, New Jersey off of New Jersey and I'd push it into the ocean and give it to France as a way of thanking them for the Statue of Liberty that turned green. That's what I would do. So,
that's funny.
But to the people of Jersey, I care about you and I send you my love. I just Newark is a place I don't have to go back to.
That's funny.
Okay. My question for you, you and I are going to make a movie.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
And you have to pick a profession for both of us in the movie. What city are we living in? So it's a brother-sister movie. What city are we living in? What's your job? What's my job? And then you get to do this for fun for me. You get to pick my love interest actress.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I'll do... Okay, we'll do it in New York City, because why not?
Okay.
I feel like that gives some content. And it's
I would love if your job was working at a bagel shop because you hate bagels so much.
No. I'd say...
The only person that hates New York City bagels. It's
but
wild.
not even... I love Water Street. I just hate Long Island and New York City bagels.
But you love what? Because that's the one place that you got bagels, right? But you get a plain bagel.
No.
What did you get? You got an everything one?
I get spicy everything.
You got a spicy everything? You can tell me about the spicy one.
So good.
I get the egg bagel.
Egg
everything.
Good. Yeah.
Egg everything. The marriage of the two best bagels that ever lived.
Fair.
But you and I have had so many conversations about that you don't understand why people like bagels.
Yeah, I don't. I don't understand the love affair with bagels.
I just like New York City bagels. I like egg everything bagels, and I like what they do with the bacon, egg, and cheese. Or
Can't relate.
I don't get cream cheese anywhere in my life ever. Will never buy it in the store, but they whip it in like New York City.
They do.
And I get the cinnamon raisin walnut one.
Okay, that's fair. I would do New York City. I want to be a lawyer because, you know, I feel like I'd be good at it. I just don't want to do it in real life. So I feel like
if I could be a trial, I think that's what it. If we could go to trial every day, but you never have to sit in an office.
Yeah.
We would be lawyers.
So it'd be that. And
so
then,
you're a lawyer. What am I?
I say you own your own restaurant.
Okay. I
think that'd be fun.
I'm good with that.
That also gives a lot of content.
Yeah.
And then...
Who's my love interest? Who walks into my restaurant?
I think there's a lot of pretty actresses.
There are.
I would say...
She's going to be your sister-in-law. Make it important. Make a good choice.
I'd say the girl in... I don't know her name. This is bad.
What's she in?
The girl in Landman.
In Landman?
Yeah, the wife.
I haven't seen that. Hold on. I gotta look it up now. The girl in Landman.
Put the wife in Landman.
Okay, wife. Landman wife.
Her.
Angela Norris?
Yes.
Oh, I know who she is.
Awesome.
So she...
And I love her. I think it's just also that I love her character in that show. She's just so... She's shot. Like, absolutely shot. She's so funny.
So she was in the...
She's in a bunch of... Or the original, Friday... Wasn't it Friday Night? No.
Well, you know that I love...
She was the girl in... What's the football movie?
Well, you know I love... Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Well, you know that I love, like, hero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the NBC TV show Heroes.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I will accept Angela Norris.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay.
Well, that's her name in the show. I don't know her actually.
Yeah, whatever your real name is. That lady.
Yeah, so I'd say that.
Okay, I'll take it. All right. So now you get to ask me the last one.
If there was one athlete that you could pick that could play forever, who would it be?
So I pick this athlete and they can play forever.
Yeah, like you can watch them play forever. Or at least, like, come out of retirement, have another decade, whatever. Like, you can...
Probably Barry Sanders.
Okay.
Because he's insane. By the way, his daughter is, like... I guess she's playing now or something. Or, like, she's doing flag football, and there's a video. It was insane. But Barry Sanders... I don't know, like... There's people that do things that human beings should not be able to do. And that's why I would pick Barry Sanders, yeah. Because he could literally go, they would hand him the ball, and he would go into a pile, and you'd be like, why didn't they blow it dead? Like, he's in the pile, you couldn't see him, and then he'd, like, fly out of this cave of people. Yeah. Or he would just, like, go and make a move and bend his leg, and it would look like he broke his ankle, and then he'd come back. And it's just the way he played... Almost like Gumby. Like, his body was so fluid.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone has ever played I don't know if anyone has ever looked like Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
So I'd have to pick somebody that like I can't even compare to anybody else. So Barry.
Fair.
My last question for you. So we know that you got the recipe back to make those Christmas cookies, which is very important. So I'm going to do a food question. If you and I did an Italian bake-off, what 3 things would you want to make together? Pick. Well, actually, just do it.
Grandma meatballs, lemon cookies is starting strong in that number 1 spot. And then, so I do.
But Fran makes about 500 of them.
Yeah, it's not real.
It honestly looks like a kitchen of a restaurant.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go classic pizzelles.
Okay.
They're so good. And then, unpopular opinion, I think the normal like Italian cookies that are on the cookie trays are not very good. I think they're all very like dry. Like I think Grandma's lemon cookies are like so different, which is why I love them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go something in my archive that I like to bake, and that is gonna be my banana bread chocolate chunk cookies. They're so good.
I love banana bread and chocolate
so
chips.
Good.
I will say this about the wonderful woman that you are named after. There is a cookie that she made for Tortora Christmas parties that to this day cannot be replicated, duplicated.
She had a couple.
There was
there's no it's not like a known thing, but it was like hers, and it was like really good.
Well, she made this thing, and because I experienced hers first, everything else
sucks.
is not real. And you would go to the Christmas party, go to the cookie tray, and they would be gone. Like, people would pick through this tower of cookies, and they would take this cookie.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get it, it was gone. If you got one and there was another one on you might as well put one in your pocket.
Yeah.
There was a year she didn't make them, and I was like, then why do we even have the party? Her 7-layer cookies.
Oh, okay.
Her 7 layers stacked with the fudge in the middle. Aunt Fran, send down your recipe. Like, do you have that recipe? No. Like, I don't know how she did it.
So my dad has a very similar mindset with this, with her chocolate squares, but like any version of it, like Italian or like looking up, like whatever, it's not even close. And he's like, it's the flaky crust, but it's not as flaky as people make it. Like, it's still like a dough on the top and the bottom, and then it's like fudgy walnut center, and then
that's like my other grandma's chocolate loaf.
Yes. But it's not like a bread. It's still like a cookie, but and no, like every recipe that I've tried to replicate for him, it's just not. It's not the same.
Well,
I'm gonna keep trying, but
we make that, and we call it. My grandma called it chocolate loaf, but it's not bread. We make it every Christmas.
Yeah.
Now I'll bring some.
Yeah.
And see if he likes that one, because the first couple times we tried to make it, my mom and I, it did not come out good. But now, I mean, this she does what my grandmother did. You don't put them in the fridge. You put them on the front porch, and you let the winter keep them cold like a refrigerator on the porch. Yeah. And those cookies, literally like 3 months later, we're eating chocolate loaf. So I would say that one. But Aunt Fran's 7, like, I don't know. I can literally go back and taste the texture. I remember the restaurant we were at, and I remember walking up and like looking and grabbing one. And every time I hear about 7 layers, I'm like, I will walk up to it and go, it doesn't even look like Aunt Fran's. Like I won't even try it. It doesn't look like
That's
hers.
how I feel about lemon cookies. Like any lemon knots or ricotta cookies, like at the bakery, I'll look and I go, that just looks dry.
No. Yeah.
That just does not look great.
And when you make anything with ricotta, like, why are they so dry and like nasty?
That's the thing. She doesn't make hers with ricotta.
But I will say that my Gammy, my dad's mom.
That's why she don't use that.
She doesn't use it, but I make ricotta pie.
Yeah.
And I get so many people that are like, the cheese, ew. And I'm like, just try a piece.
Oh, if I said what was in her lemon cookies, they'd be like, ew.
But the ricotta pie.
Yeah, well, when you eat them, you're not saying.
I don't like cheesecake. I don't like this. I'm like, just try the ricotta pie. And they will try the ricotta pie.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I love it. And then the next year, so this is what I do. So internet, all around the world, this is our secret. You don't tell what I'm about to tell Franny. You keep this to yourself. On Thanksgiving, I will make ricotta pie, and I'll make a second one. And I put the first one upstairs and I cut it for people.
Yeah.
And like during Christmas I'll make 2. So I cut it during Christmas and I'm like, I got 8 or 9 slices.
Yeah.
And my cousins that never liked it, now they like it.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh man, they're like, oh dude, you only got like 1 slice left for us. Man, we loved it. And then when everybody leaves the house, I go to my basement, my theater room that you've been in, and I got another rig up pie to my damn self.
Yeah.
So,
When I bake the cookie trays, I have so many extras. It's like insane.
I have not tried
Like
them
my
yet,
dad
though.
will be like, get him out of the house.
Yeah.
Like I'm eating like a plate every single night.
I will not eat donuts unless they're from Lincourt Bakery, and if you get me donuts from Lincourt Bakery, I will eat the entire box.
Yeah.
Like I can't, and I love you, Lincourt, but my mom, every time I go to the house, she's like, I bought you donuts, so I'll eat.
You're like, stop.
Right. I'll go right in, I'll eat the headlight. And then she's like, do you want to take these home? And I'm like, no. She said, why? I said, because I'll eat them. So I said, you know what? Just put the jelly donut in there because nobody makes a jelly donut like that. I savored it. I ate pieces of the jelly donut for 3 days because I wanted to have that taste from Lincourt Bakery, like half
Every
of my
day.
weight. So I'm like, Sunday, bite. Monday, 2 bites. The Tuesday,
That's
finish it
funny.
off. But
That's so funny.
Lincourt Bakery, seriously, I will fight people. I've been to Italy. And I've had wonderful desserts. I still think Lincourt Bakery is good.
When I went to Puerto Rico, they had a donut, but it was like fluffy. And it had Nutella on the inside. I've never eaten a donut like that in my life.
Nutella is so good.
But in Puerto Rico. It was like fluffy. Like, I don't know if it's like I don't know. So good.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was great.
But then the rest of the donuts just don't taste
The same.
the same.
Well, you have to have some of my rigat pie, and I have to have some of those lemon balls.
Yes.
But I was part of the SWAT team that was working to get you the recipe, so I'm happy that you have
It took a lot.
Yeah. Like I was almost
took
to
a
the
decade.
I was almost to the point where I was gonna like go to the roof and climb through the chimney to get it for you.
We were making jokes, and I was like, I'm gonna literally like commit a robbery, and it's not gonna be for anything of like money value, and it's all gonna be of like emotional value. It's so funny.
From my Gammy Miller's house, when I went in and I lived in that house for a little while after she had passed, when I left the house, I knew where her recipes were. And I reached up and I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my aunt.
Yeah.
I took the recipes, and then my aunt was like, oh, do you know, like, it would be nice to have, and I was like, oh yeah, I got them.
Well, I didn't know we were gatekeeping.
Yeah, I was like, they're in my house. And I was like, by the way, I took them like 4 years ago, so there's no way, like, if you cared about them, you would have cared
Like,
4
that's
years
what I'm
ago.
saying. Yeah. I didn't know it was a race.
Yeah. Like in your case, it was like, is anybody making these? No. Well, then why are you like ransoming why do I have to do a hostage takeover to take this thing?
I'm like,
back?
I've literally taken over great grandma's like tradition of like thousands of cookies.
Yeah.
Over
My mom and I do my grandma's. Yeah. My mom and I do my G mamas.
Yeah.
And I do my Gammy's rigat pie.
Yeah.
And then so my aunt.
Unreal.
She takes her rigat pie and she tries to recreate it.
Yeah.
She puts lemon in it, and I was like, you don't mess with perfection. So I took one bite and I was like, it was like lemon chocolate. I looked at my dad. I'm like, the hell is this? Like I was so excited to have it, and it was like lemon pie. Yeah. And my grandmother would have been like, ugh. Like she would have been like, what did you do, Maria? Take it back. Sorry. So like I have added chocolate chips to mine. But my grandmother's rigat pie, which, like, just so y'all, if I told you what was in it, you would think, like, you're all going to die of sugar shock. But it's so good. And then for my other grandmother, we make her lemon balls, pistachio balls. We make the chocolate loaf, the chocolate rum cookies, cutouts, and then 7-layer, which I still have not figured out how Aunt Fran does it. Well, but we've tried.
It's trying to match like our grandparents' recipes from like using online. It's absolutely
I don't
impossible.
measure and they don't.
Yeah.
My grandmother would do it to taste.
Yeah.
But like this is my thing. This is the quest for the family now. You and Derek and I have to figure out how Aunt Fran did her 7-layer cookies.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to ask Grandpa, maybe we have to ask Ralph. I don't, but like listen, he'll eat them. You know he will.
I know.
Because you would go into his office and, Grandpa, what you been eating? There's a Burger King bag and a Wendy's bag, and there's a donut. There's a donut thing. He's got donut on his face, and he goes, I've just been eating salads.
Yeah, he's got all the Gino and Joe boxes stacked up to the top of the thing, and he's like,
that man ate good.
He's like, I'm gonna, who's Gino and who's Joe? Like, yeah.
I was like, what'd you have? He's like, Franny's got me eating salads. I'm like, you're not. I know you're eating what you want to eat. So
he's unreal.
But he's doing good.
He is doing good.
He's doing good.
He helps me make pizzelles because he can just do the machine. Yeah. He's got easy, like he'll roll the dough. He's got easy jobs, but he helps. It's another set of hands.
Well, and that's the other thing too about making anything in an Italian kitchen is you get to taste test.
He's the best. Yeah. I'm like, go ahead. Every batch. And I go, this is the same cookie. This is the 8th batch, but you can keep tasting.
I got to make sure that it's still.
And make sure each batch is consistent.
There's one thing at Disney they let us eat, and it was when I was making the almonds and the pecans where I had to do the vanilla and the sugar and all that. It was the only thing that you could actually taste test because I was cooking. And so they're like, oh, yeah, you can try one to make sure it's not burned and make sure it's okay. And I would just be like, take one. And then I'm like, if they're watching me or somebody goes by, I'm going to be like, oh, this is from another batch. It's like, Dan, you put a cup there of 12 of them from 3 hours ago. And I'm like, I want to make sure they taste good cold. I want to make sure they're okay.
The temperature's changing.
Like, do they taste good hot? Do they taste good cold? Are they good in the sun, out of the sun, good at 4 p.m., good at 9 p.m.? You know what I mean? But, like, those things were addictive.
Good with coffee, good with milk.
Yeah, like, you got to check.
Gotta check.
Like we said before on the phone, and I will say on the show here, everyone who's not Italian kind of wants to be Italian.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So with that being said, for Tortora-squared here in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call and this edition of the Dolphin Dive, we thank you for being here with Fran and I on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, all around the world. And, of course, once we go live, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and you can ask Alexa or Google to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they'll do that for you as well. A big-time shout-out from New York to North Carolina. The Brooklyn Pickle is down in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right by Pinehurst Golf Course. Go and visit them today in 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And look out for Brooklyn Pickle Southern Pines on our social media and what I do, giving inspirational advice in what we call In a New York Minute. A big-time thanks as well to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, where I have my own Sunday, the DT Dolphin.
Hey now.
The Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks. Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world. Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own breakfast sandwich, the Q-Smack Mother. I know your dad knows about Mother's Cupboard.
Yep.
K9 Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Servomation, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Moyne College Dolphins, Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, and your Binghamton University Bearcats. You can find Lemoyne every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Binghamton every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and each of these schools by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Lemoyne playlist, the BSC Syracuse playlist, and the Binghamton playlist. Each of these schools are on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com, Syracuse.bscbobcats.com, and BinghamtonBearcats.com. With that being said, little sis, you get the last word today, so I'll say what we always say, God bless, no stress, do your best here on Wake Up Call and always from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and now my little sister has the last word.
Well, I don't think it's the last word because now I'm home. So Tortora-squared is back.
Perfect way to end it. I love it. We'll see you all soon. Take care.
Bye.